on YouTube on the gun line, and also on
TikTok?
what's that other? No. I can't go live on TikTok yet.
IG?
What's that shit called?
Instagram?
Yeah, IG. If I get this bitch to work. Oh, there we go. We're going live on it now. Bet we are live on all three.
All platforms.
Hell yeah, son. We making shit happen over here. So, hey, what's up, everybody? It's Lopez here coming to you with a brand new live with the homie Lee Hunt, who I think was out doing commie things yesterday, according to our homie Vision Air E.
I was doing some commie things for this country.
Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. It's all love, baby. I'm glad you're here with me today, big dog. How has your week been so far?
Can't complain. Can't complain. Really can't complain, man. Like, I had no complaints.
Hell yeah. That's the best way to be. I mean, and even if we did complain, ain't nobody gonna really fucking care or tell us, or
Let
care
me put
anyway.
my TV on mute real quick because it's loud.
Yeah, man,
I
you do
don't
what
want
you
no
do,
kind of
baby.
fucking copyright shit in the background.
Oh, it's all gravy, man. So everybody, welcome here to the On the Gun Line YouTube, Facebook, and IG Live. We are streaming on all three platforms, and I got 0 viewers as usual. No big deal. That's how we roll, baby. You got to start off somewhere, right? So if this is your first, yeah, that's right. If you guys are first time coming over here checking us out, I appreciate you. If you're on YouTube, do me a quick solid. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and then tap into the comments, man. We'd like to have a nice open forum here. We're gonna discuss a bit. We honestly we go all over the place when we talk. For real. So I hope to get some engagement from you all out there. And first things first, I want to ask the folks out there. I had asked it on yesterday or the day before's live. Who are you voting for and why? And don't just give me because fuck Trump or because fuck Kamala. Just tell me why. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, if it boils down to just fuck Trump and fuck Kamala, all right, cool. I can't pronounce her fucking name right. What is the proper way to pronounce her fucking name?
Listen, man, I've had a lot of people get mad at me on the TikTok because like I can't pronounce her name right, and it's like it's crazy. Like as a black man, you should be ashamed of yourself. You can't pronounce her name right. And I said simply, yeah, go fuck yourself. Like,
ain't she Indian anyway?
Like, no, that's stupid as fuck. But no, I told him, I was like, and then on top of that, like I gave a disclaimer. I'm like, listen, man, I'm not disrespecting her by not pronouncing her name right. It's just how I talk. So I was like, if you have a problem with it, it's a you problem. Like you can go fuck yourself. It'd be different if I was doing it like Trump or doing it like other assholes doing it on purpose to just talk shit about her name. But if I'm like coming at you like, hey, listen, man, this is just how I talk. I may not be able to pronounce some certain words the right way. Like it is what it is. There are people all over this country that can't pronounce certain things, right?
Facts.
So I was like, this is just one of those things that I can't pronounce. I was like, for you to get mad about it, and I'm telling you, hey, listen, this is just one of those things that I can't pronounce, right? I was like, one, that lets me know that you were the type of person that bullied people with any kind of speech impediment in school. Two, it lets me know that you're ignorant, you're not understanding when someone says, I'm not doing this to degrade somebody. It's just how I am. And I was like, three, once again, go fuck yourself. I'm not changing.
I'll tell you, like, I don't really know what the proper pronunciation is of that, but I will throw this out there for black folks. All right. Black folks, for some reason, I've had this discussion with Hunt here before. I don't know why it is that y'all be having some issues pronouncing Hispanic last names. All right. I'll give you an example. Rivera is not Riviera. All right.
Rivera. Yeah, it's Rivera.
Yeah, but you have no idea how many times I've heard motherfuckers. It says it on their name tape, Riviera.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like that's why I say, man, and I sorry to cut you off, but you brought up a good point.
No, you good.
Because I can't pronounce certain, Spanish last names, right? No one is getting mad at me. They're just like, I don't think people are getting mad at me and be like, how dare you're doing this on purpose? No, man, it's just how I see it and how I say it. And like, I'm not doing this on purpose to piss somebody off. And then if somebody gets mad at me, it's too easy to be like, listen, man, I'm sorry. Once again, this is just how I talk. It's like, I'm not doing this to disrespect you.
But people will take it that way all the time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, we get it. They can pronounce Dontavius, but they can't pronounce Marquez. They'll say Marquez. I get it. You know,
Yeah.
don't get at it like you don't know what I'm talking about.
There are Marquezes. That's the thing. Though. There are Marquezes. I
No,
know.
it's Marquez. The
Marquez.
U, it's in Spanish, it's Marquez.
Marquez.
Marquez. There you go. You got it. There you
Marquez.
go. And Marquez,
Marquez
motherfucker.
Buster. Damn trickster and swindler.
Why are we talking about our big nose friends like that? Oh man. Hey, big dog. You know, I'm glad you're here with me today, bro. I was asking a lot of people like who they're voting for and all that good shit, but and why they're supporting them. I know that your big thing for supporting Kamala is Kamala, whatever the fuck her name is because it's a anti-Trump vote. And you know, for those that don't know, you know, you believe that he is a racist and he is no good for the country. So, and you've you know, you've put out receipts that you have shown me as far as like, you know, stuff in the past and whatnot. But I mean, I do you still think that she would be the best person to be in office at this time?
Yeah. There's a couple of reasons why. The main reason that she's not Trump, too. Like, I think that it's past time. I think that this country has this fucking horrible fucking mindset to where, and keep in mind, I got it. But I think that this country has this horrible mindset to where we do not want to let other people in power or other people have this like American dream. Because there's people all across this country that grow up and they say, yeah, I want to be the president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And still Barack Obama, it was just like, yeah, but it's not going to happen for you, sweetie. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Now, like, there's nothing wrong with somebody that is qualified. Donald Trump is not qualified. He just isn't.
He's already been in office, though.
Okay, so guess who's been vice president? Second in line. Someone who has to have, just like Trump, daily briefings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone that has the security clearance to know what the fuck is going on.
Right.
Someone that does and can affect policies in some way, right? So, like, there's experience right there, too. I cannot see a Republican Party in the 60s, 70s, and 80s that would allow a presidential candidate, a Republican, to be cozy with communist dictators. And this is coming from a commie myself, right? Like Xi Jinping, communist. Fucking
right.
Kim Jong-un, communist. Putin, communist. These are people that the Republican candidate cozies up to. Talks about they have beautiful relationships. Ronald Reagan would be turning over in his grave. And this is what today's Republicans don't understand.
But okay, but would he though? I mean, didn't he reach out, him and Gorbachev, come to an agreement?
Gorbachev. He was like, no, man, tear this fucking wall down. He didn't go and say, hey, I have this beautiful relationship with Gorbachev. Me and Gorbachev have these beautiful love letters to each other back and forth. He was like, no, man, listen, go tear this shit down, man. You communists are fucked up. You got to get right. So he was tough on communists. He understood that, you know what? I have to be tough, firm, but fair, but I can listen to you. I can listen to what you have to say, but I'm going to be tough, firm, and fair. Donald Trump wants to cozy up with people and have perfect relationships. No, man, you have to be stronger than these goddamn commies. You got to be stronger than Russia.
I don't know. I still find it that I still think that while the perception is that, you know, he's cozying up with them, I still find it as these, you know, our foreign policy is in play. You know, in other words, it's somebody who they won't fuck with, and somebody who they respect. You know,
if they
at the end of the day, that's what I believe. You know what I'm saying? That's just my beliefs.
Yeah, if they respected him, you know what I'm saying, there wouldn't have been that attack on that Iraq base, right? Where them soldiers got the TBI and all he said was they had bad headaches, right? So what? Can you imagine?
I was going to say something. I was going to say something because, okay, I'll say this because we're veterans and we can talk shit about other veterans that got bad headaches. Did they really get a TBI? How many for real got a TBI? How many for real?
if they were clinically diagnosed with it. Like, I don't know their diagnosis. I don't know
Right,
the doctors that
exactly.
they've seen. But
Exactly.
okay, so that's the thing, we don't know. But if
Right.
they're coming back and saying, yeah, I got TBI, and he's like, you just got a fucking headache. Get the fuck out of here.
So he's not a doctor, obviously, and he's trying to play it down. I get it, you know, and I'm not defending his actions or his words. I'm not going to defend him. You know, that motherfucker's just retarded when he says stupid shit. That's 100%.
How much?
Hey, what's going on, Moya? Salute.
How much grace do we have to give him for saying stupid shit when it comes to veterans or active duty people?
But here's the thing, I don't really care what he says. I care about his actions, what he's done for the country. And let's be real.
How can you not care when everybody is about like veterans? We support the troops. We love our veterans. Mm-hmm. And when he talks shit and say and minimizing the effects that, because remember, he was too coward to go. He's minimizing the effects that fucking war has on people. Saying, oh, you just have a headache, toughen up. Oh, you're not that important. You got captured. I like my hero. Come on, man. We give this motherfucker too much fucking credit. You know,
I feel you on that.
And I got it. I'm not the world's most patriotic person. I will never be the world's most patriotic person. But God damn it, there's no reason for you to talk about people that are patriots. And in my opinion, everybody that served this country is a fucking patriot because they had the balls to do shit that a lot of motherfuckers don't. Those motherfuckers are patriots. So don't
I feel
talk
you on that. Even, well, I mean, I'm gonna still talk shit about fucking Freeman,
Jack Freeman,
and Wilson. But no, I mean, and you know what's a trip, man? You know, everybody's right now talking about the whole VP incident with Walls and fucking and what's the other fool's name?
Ashley Furniture. Did you see him dressed in drag? Oh, I'll show you the picture of him dressed in drag. His name is no longer JD Vance. His name is Ashley's Furniture.
Oh, dale. Well, see, here's the thing. Like, I don't care about the VPs. Honestly, I don't. Either one, they can both suck a dick. What I do, okay. So the reason that I talk shit about fucking Walls is for one reason. He brought up his military record or his service as if it was like a big talking point for him to, you know, that he's a big deal. That's why I talk shit about that. You know what I'm saying? That's he opened that up. But as far as like, was that?
You said you don't care about the VPs, right?
I don't care about.
So then why is everybody? So are you worried about what the fuck Kamala Harris did in office? She's the VP. Who gives a fuck what she did?
Because she's running for president now. There's a difference. Yeah, there's a difference. I need to know what the fuck you did.
There's no difference. Don't
bullshit.
Worry about the VPs. I ain't worried
bullshit.
About
Hold up. I'll tell you why okay. So when she was in charge of the border, and let's be real, she was in charge of the border. No matter how much motherfuckers try to deny that, she was in charge of the border. How many motherfuckers came in? And not only that, I'm not going to make it a Mexican or Central American or South American thing. I'm talking about from the middle fucking east that are coming through there and fucking getting away. Did you see that episode of the Sean Ryan? Did you watch the whole thing with 107 with Legend?
Yeah. Well, I heard.
Watched the whole thing.
Yeah, I was driving.
Okay, so when he was talking about fucking like the fools that are in here already that are Taliban, you know what I'm saying? They're here. They coming through the southern border. You know what I'm saying? And that's a big fucking deal because we don't have that shit locked down like we should.
So I understand your position on the southern border, and I understand a lot of other people's position on the southern border, and with people coming into this country and we not knowing who they are. But what I think people fail to realize is other Americans' concerns when we talk about a certain branch of nationalism that's in this country and the threat that we perceive from these people that are those nationalists. So just like everybody can see this perceived threat with people from the Middle East coming up here in the border and wanting to do harm to Americans on American soil, there are certain people that have melanin like myself that perceive people that are going out in these marches and in these rallies that are proud nationalists and talking about, you know, who will not replace us. And we can see how they talk on social media because they're already here. And we perceive them as a bigger threat than the people coming from the border. I think we're looking at it on a national level instead of on a more of a, hey, listen, this is something that's going to directly affect me, that might directly affect me. We look at it as a national threat when we talk about the border, this, that, and the third. We don't look at it as a national threat when we have these nationalists, these neo-Yazis, because I'm gonna keep this
Mm-hmm.
PC for you, right? We don't look at them as a national threat. We should, because they're out there. We look
Right.
at all the things that are going on 4chan and all these other platforms
Right.
that they're spreading their rhetoric. And we see, why can't we
Mm-hmm.
take that as much as of a threat like we do motherfuckers coming from south of the border?
I agree with you on that. I agree that there are idiots out there that spew hate. But unfortunately, hate speech is still free speech. You know what I'm saying? Now, until they put that into action or convey a movement into action, then you can't even call it a terrorist threat or okay, kind of like the rules of engagement that we had back in Baghdad back in 0506. You have a hostile act and hostile intent. Those were only times that we could engage, right? They haven't made a hostile act or a hostile intent, but all they do now I'm talking about that. I've okay. Until once they do make a hostile act or hostile intent, then yeah, by all for it, arrest those motherfuckers, lock them up. You know what I'm saying? But to march around and protest, unfortunately, that is free speech.
So the hostile intent is when you are saying, "Hey, we need to go here and we need to stomp out all the."
Okay, if that's what's being said,
That's the
then
hostile
yeah.
intent. Yeah. So they're showing hostile intent when they are
Okay, but
talking about certain things. They're showing intent to do things. They may not put those intentions to action, but they're already showing the hostile intent.
okay, did they say we're gonna go out there and stomp motherfuckers out?
Yes, they just say, "Hey," well, they were saying this. This is what needs to happen. We need to do this. Not that on this
Mm-hmm.
day we're doing this, but the fact that you're saying we need to take back this country, we need to do X, Y, Z. You are showing
Mm-hmm.
an intent to do this. You haven't put plans to motion to your intent,
Right.
but you have put an intent to do this out there.
Right. So yeah, the moment that I started hearing motherfuckers making plans as far as like we need to do this, then yeah, to me that's already a hostile intent right there. In my eyes, that's no longer free speech. Free speech is more along the lines of like, I don't like this person because of so and so. They should all go back to so and so. But the moment you say, if I see one of these persons, I'm gonna go ahead and fucking stomp them, then that's already a threat, and
So
a
would
threat
you?
needs to be
Yeah,
taken care of.
it is. So would you agree? Let's be honest, right? And if there's
Yeah.
anybody here listening right now, right? If would you agree that illegal immigration is just not a brown thing, a black thing, a white thing, an Asian thing? There are people of all nationalities that are coming to this
Mhm.
country illegal, and they're not just coming from the southern border.
Right.
Okay,
Well,
so
they're what do you mean they're not coming from the southern
I
border?
said they're not just all coming from the southern border.
You mean like in Latin American countries?
Well, yeah, well, even there. What I'm saying is, let's say it's Arabic people, right? Because we know that
Right.
there are Taliban people here. They're not just
Hmm.
all coming from the southern border,
Okay.
right? They're coming from
I'm not sure,
port.
but the majority
Yeah,
apparently is.
yeah, but there's ports of entry that we have too that people are coming here from. There are people that are here that are overstaying their visa, check or hold.
Right.
That and
Right.
they come from all different nationalities, all different countries, right?
Right.
So why is it that when we see a candidate, when he talks about immigration problem, he only focuses on the brown people from South America, from black people, and from Muslim countries? We are acting like there's not Europeans that are over here right now that are
Hmm.
overstaying their visas and that are here illegally. But when you hear his rhetoric, he only talks about brown people from the South, black people from shithole countries, and Arabic people. There are
Okay.
Europeans in this country right now that have overstayed their welcome. He is not
Right.
addressing them. And that's why
So
people like me can say, whoa, 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 hold up. Why are you only narrowing it down to these people? This isn't right. Something's wrong.
I will say, and not in defense, but I will say that the biggest threat that we're having comes from the Middle Eastern people. Whether you want to pursue, you said, let's be real, let's be real. I'll tell you what, are all Arab people Islamic terrorists? No. But are all Islamic terrorists Arabic people or Middle Eastern people? 100% yes. Oh,
Yeah,
99.9% yes.
listen, I feel you because not all conservatives are racist, but all racists are
Right.
conservatives.
Oh, really?
No,
You're
no,
gonna tell
no.
me
You
that there's
just
no
use that same
Democratic
logic
fucking
on me. You just
okay.
use that same logic on me.
Okay, not all of them, because I'm sure there are a lot of fucking Democrats that are racist as shit.
You just use that same logic on me.
Well, no, because one is a political affiliation, the other one is a region of the country
A
or of the
religious
world.
idea.
One
Muslim
is
extremist is a religious idea.
right. It's a religious ideology, right? It's and again, most of them are Muslim, which come from a certain area of the world. So they have a certain complexion, a certain look.
A lot of
Versus,
racists have a lot of American racists have a certain complexion. They have a
so
certain
when we
look.
say American racist, though, let's be honest. Racism goes across all fucking colors, all of the spectrum. Please don't tell me you're one of those that don't believe black people can't be racist.
No, I think listen. Here's the deal, man. I think that's stupid. I know a lot of people that say that, and I got them, and I understand them. But any and
How?
everybody
How do
can
you
be racist.
understand that? How do
No,
you
no, no. I,
understand
I
that?
understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, anybody and everybody can be racist and most certainly
Mhm.
be prejudiced.
Oh, I'm prejudiced as fuck. I know that for a fact. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I'm not prejudiced. I prejudge everybody. All I got to do is see how you're dressed and how you conduct yourself. And my mind is already fucking judging. Okay, is this a threat or is this not a threat? Is this
Not
something
like
I need to watch out
I'm
for
not
or
necessarily
not?
going to judge somebody because they're dressed a certain way. Because
Oh,
let's
I
face it,
am.
like
See, okay. Well, here's the thing. In California, for example, in California, where I grew up at, if you were dressed a specific way, I knew that's a gangbanger. Already knew it. Bald head, baggy ass Ben Davis, white t-shirt or flannel on top, Nike Cortezes, bald headed, tattoos. That's a gangster. Bam.
G Nikes.
I'm judging that motherfucker right then and there.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Like, look, for instance, when I went to my nephew's graduation, I had my nice suit
Okay.
on, right? And everybody was like,
Right,
"Oh
right.
man," people were thinking I was something. Like, no, dude, I ain't shit. I'm middle class. Like, yo, I ain't shit.
No,
No,
like I'm
I just
lower middle class, fool.
yeah, I just like to dress in nice suits from time to time when I gotta go somewhere. So don't like
Right.
you don't know shit about me. I ain't important. I ain't shit.
Well, that's not that, but the perception is reality of people, right? So, for example, if you're going to go to a job interview, are you going to go dressed the way you are right now, or are you going to dress up in a suit and tie and go to a job interview?
Oh, show that bitch butt naked.
Shit,
And then you know what's
that's
crazy?
for porn star jobs.
Yeah. What's crazy is I kind of, God damn it, we're thinking all over the place.
Yeah, we are. That's the way we
But
roll,
where
baby.
the fuck was that sergeant major at? When I was in the army.
What's that? Wait, what? What?
Where was that sergeant major at when I was in the army?
For real, dog.
Caught me up in
Okay,
the
so
parking
now we're
lot.
going to talk about females in the military. Let's do this shit. Look, that's our major. She looked like shit in that command picture, but I seen her fucking pictures. I seen her pictures when she's dressed down.
And she was a sergeant major of Fort Campbell too.
I saw that, dog. She was the first female command sergeant major of a division.
Of a major
Way to
division.
go.
Hey,
Way
the
to
101st
go.
leads the way. We lead the fucking way, man.
Yeah, y'all did. Yo, apparently she
We
was
took that
fucking
shit to heart.
shit. She was out there giving some sucky to her driver. Shit. Spit on that thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's a trip, dog. Hey, what's going on, Big Mill? But it's a trip. Like, but look, they're coming out of the woodwork now because there was another sergeant major that just got busted as well. Some white cat.
Here's the deal. Why I don't understand why we're just blaming the women, the females.
We're not. There was a white dude that just got busted for it.
Yeah, but I say we, I say you, because it takes two to fucking tank.
It does.
Like, it's stupid that we're not blaming the fucking guys for this shit. Like, and then on top of that, people fuck. Who cares? Like,
because it destroys. It can lead to, what's that word that they like to say in the military? Order and good order and what is it?
The lack of good order and discipline.
Yeah, it'll fuck up the good order and discipline. And you know what? Let's be real, man. It will. You know, especially if you've been hitting the command sergeant major of the army. You know, I mean, not the army of the division, and you know you're gonna be getting away with shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's that person's fault. It don't matter if they're
It
man or
is.
woman because they put themselves in that situation.
Exactly, 100%. Now they're gonna make a MOS of women that go and just give combat blowjobs. I'm in it 100%.
Like I told you before, man. Like I told you this shit before, man. Like I think that like you got a Spartan attitude, bro.
I got a what?
A Spartan attitude.
Oh, here you go. Look, I'm not talking about that. I want to go wrestle with men butt naked and shit out in the field.
Combat needs to be for us men because we're doing manly things like touching each other and groping each other.
It's not just that though, hon. It's the fact that when you put women in an area with men, there's going to be an attraction. Biology takes over. Motherfuckers want to fuck. It's going to happen. Don't give me this whole professional army bullshit.
But you shouldn't be blame the women. You can't just blame the women and say make it
I'm not just blaming the women. Like you said, it takes two to tango, right?
Yeah, so I'm not just blaming the guys too. Don't just be like, oh, we need to have this for it's the woman's fault because she gonna do this. No, it's the dude's fault because the dude is lacking.
Both of their faults.
Yeah,
it's both of their faults.
So, it's the guy.
So wouldn't it make more sense to just keep the shit out of the fucking?
No,
keep it separate.
No, that's stupid. If that's the case, everything needs to be separate, bro. If that is the case, combat effectiveness, I think that's a fucking stupid myth. Combat effectiveness, combat readiness is a stupid myth because guess what? You are not somebody in that unit is not doing their job right where they're not teaching next man up or two man above you. So if one person's down, oh fuck well. Guess what's gonna happen? If somebody is pregnant, they're not gonna be able to do the duty. Okay, that's one less person. If somebody gets shot in the line of duty, guess what? They're not gonna be able to do their fucking duty. They're gonna be back in the
room. But guess what? One was preventable, the other one wasn't. One was preventable, the other one wasn't.
Yes,
all right,
was preventable. Condoms, too easy.
You're this motherfucker, bro.
Birth control
again. It's both of their faults. Oh, I'm with you on birth control. They're gonna be on there. Put them on birth control because that way they don't get knocked up in Mosul like they did last deployment. Just saying. So I just think, again, yeah, I get it. And shout out to all the females out there that are in combat arms. Hey, I give it to y'all, man. Handle your business. But
I can't wait till that first. I'm pretty sure there's already one in artillery. That platoon sergeant. They got to call her Smoke Mama.
Wouldn't that be fucking degrading though, or because you just got to call them Smoke? Can't call them Smoke, man.
Smoke Mama.
What if they don't want to be called that?
Smoke. Well, you just still smoke.
Smoke, that's smoke. I mean, as long as if she earned her fucking way up there, I don't give two shits. The part that I was pissed off about when they were bringing them in, because I got out just before they started, well, just as they were coming in. The part that pissed me off, Hunt, was when I heard that they were going to start bringing in staff sergeants who never been on the fucking line and, just teaching them real quick, like a quick course, and then bam, you're an artilleryman, you're a section chief.
Okay, so guess what? That shit happens all the time when motherfuckers change MOSs.
Got it.
They have to go to AIT. You got to go to AIT, and guess what? And sometimes you can go to AIT as a staff sergeant, right? You can change your MOS as a staff sergeant, and then guess what? You're finna be put over there. You just got.
Are you really gonna know as much as a section chief who just crossed over?
I know a dude. His last name started with an A. This motherfucker was an MP recruiter. Got busted as a recruiter, right? Because he was fucking around with one of the recruits. And then he had to go to AIT to become a 13 Bravo. Didn't know shit, but guess what? Hey, you section chief.
You're right. Miller says, good point, Hunt. My boy Ellis said it happened to us, Lopez. I guess, dog, I don't know. I don't like the whole crossing over shit, honestly, personally. That's just me. And of course, y'all already know my stance on females in combat arms. So
yeah, whoever said good point, Hunt, I'm voting
that
for
was
you
Miller.
for president. Miller, voting for you for president. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Voting for you for president. Yeah, from Third
Joseph
ID
Miller. Yeah.
Yep. Voting for president. Yeah. So they make it's nonsense. We can do this. It happens all the time. You know
I get that. I get that.
And then on top of that, guess whose job it is now to get off their ass and do something? Smoke Man's job. Because Smoke should know, hey, listen, this is a non-com, and I need to make sure that this non-com, got it, just came from AIT, but I need to make sure that this staff sergeant is proficient in this job. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to have this gun set up in the motor pool. Me and Big Sarge about to be in this gun. doing the thing, and Big Sarge, I'm gonna take Big Sarge out. We're gonna get the gun dispatched, and then we gonna fucking do some shit. But Big Sarge is gonna be straight.
Miller says, I think Staff Sergeant is the highest rank that it makes sense to do it in. You know what? I concede. You're right. Yes, I concede that point. I still don't want them on.
Where's your box machine at with the clapping? Where's your box machine with the clapping?
You know what? Hold on. I'll do that for you. Hey, Hunt made a good point, y'all. Hunt made a good fucking point. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Oh, wait. Wrong one. Yeah. But no, I mean, yeah, I guess it makes sense. But I still stand with keep them off my gun line. Don't need them there. I keep it like that because I don't want any issue. But then again, I'm not on the gun line anymore, right? I'm out here and I get to talk this shit. So let's see. What else are we talking about? Oh, shit. Let's talk about the 40 to 80 million dollars a week we're sending to the Taliban. Now you said something on there under the in one of the posts that happened under Trump.
Yeah, that was I forgot the name of the accord that the peace thing that had happened.
The Doha.
Yeah, Doha. So all that Doha shit, that was all organized under Trump. Right. The Doha thing. So that 40 to 80 million, that was still organized under him. This was still a policy that was put in place, an agreement that was put in place under him to do this shit. Now, I understand the Taliban is not doing their shit because if anybody...
Thank you. That's why I was going to go to.
Yeah, they're not keeping up with it. So now we have to be like, okay, so what are we going to do? How are we going to hold their feet to the fire? How are we going to get out of this accord? What are we going to do? So now it is incumbent upon us to do that. But
it's been incumbent upon them to do it since August 2021.
You talking about to what?
To not give them that fucking money.
Well, you seen? I forgot her name, but you seen her interview, right?
Yeah.
Did you look at all her interview?
Not yet. I have to check that one out. It's also on the Sean Ryan show. Yes. Sarah Allen, I think her name is.
If you look at her, she is very much so a conservative and a patriot too, right? But there are a lot of things that she says that I agree with. So when you have time, not her first interview with SRS, but her second interview with SRS, she goes down into detail so much with all of this stuff, all of the key players. And she breaks it down. She was like, okay, so the Taliban was supposed to do what? Keep Al-Qaeda from popping their head up in here. They're not doing that. Why? Because this person is related to this person is related to this person, and these people all together, and the money comes through right here. So she gives like...
No, I was going to say, you know what really pissed me off about that after I was watching it yesterday was that we're giving a stipend or giving money to the Taliban government as the terrorist motherfuckers, and they're paying the martyrs of the Talibanese people. In other words, like the soldiers that fought with the Taliban, those terrorists their families are getting paid because they died fighting U.S. soldiers and killing U.S. soldiers. You know, that right there, it's a slap in the fucking face, you know, and apparently what ended up happening was that from my understanding of it, okay, you guys, if you guys haven't done so, y'all need to go check out the Sean Ryan show, episode 107 with fucking the guy's name is Legend. That fucking interview was eye-opening and fucking angering. That's all I can say. It angered the fuck out of me, man. You know, to know that this shit is still going on at this time. We're spending all this money over there, you know, give them this money. Meanwhile, we got soldiers out here who they got a $20 a month bump as a fucking cost of living allowance.
Can you bring that up and see if it really is true, if it's changed? Because $20, I don't see them, like, I just don't see that. There's never been that low of a fucking raise.
Bro, that's not the raise. That's not the raise. That's just a bonus, they called it. It was a bonus of $20 a month for 6 months to provide an adjustment for the cost of living.
For COVID.
Now, it's a bonus. It's not even an adjustment. It's just a bonus. So what it is was like I want to say it was like $100 something divided into 6 months, and it turned out to be like $20 a month. So hey, you're able to put half a tank of gas in your car.
So
But
this isn't
check
something
this
that's
out
going
though.
to take. It's not going to take effect on the first of the year
It's
when everybody gets
no,
their
it was
raise.
supposed to go. It was supposed to take effect earlier this year. Now, check this out. Get this. I also read that they're trying to give up a pay bump. You know, like the usual pay bump that they give, like a 5% or whatever,
Yeah.
every year, right?
Yeah.
Well, apparently, whatever it is, apparently though they said they have to go ahead and they wanted to put it in the NDAA, but they said no, we have to do an inquiry first to make sure that we're adjusting it correctly. Bro, we already know that most of these motherfuckers don't make shit. And you know what? I'm gonna pull it up real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and look for it.
Yeah,
But
I
go ahead.
think that I think it's going to be. Well, I know for the VA, I think ours is 3 point something percent, right? That's what the cola is that everybody's going to be seeing on the first is going to be like a 3 point. I won't say a 3.5 if that's it, or it may be 3.5% raise in the pay.
Right.
So, and our shit normally goes hand in hand with the U.S. military shit. So I got it, man. At the same time, we can't. I don't blame any president. I don't blame. So it is
3.5.
3.5. Thanks, Jeff. So I don't blame the president. I blame the Democrats and the Republicans.
100%.
Right? Not one. I don't blame one more than the other. I blame the Democrats and the Republicans because both of them are too busy worried about certain earmarks and these ports that are in their bills that they're trying to pass. Right? And no one is holding their feet to the fire. I'm not saying that service members should be getting paid, a private should be getting paid $60,000 a year. I'm not saying it.
No,
you know
not
what I'm
at all.
saying? A private getting paid $60,000 a year. I'll even put it as $80,000 a year. A private, come on, bro, $80,000 a year? No,
Absolutely not.
But I do think that, like, I don't know what a private's pay is, but I think that, hey, listen, man, maybe an $800 a month. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with giving you an additional $800 a month as a private.
So
I don't think
here's
that
my thing. They need to keep it comparable to whatever the cost of living is on the outside right now. And honestly, since everybody bumped up to $20 a motherfucking hour, that needs to be comparable for the military as well. Pay these motherfuckers whatever $20 an hour is, times fucking whatever it is. Like what? Maybe 40,000 a year.
That's
You know what I mean?
probably how much maybe specialist staff sergeant makes about 40,000 a year.
Well, you gotta think about also like the BAH or
So
the medical.
but like that's what I'm saying. We're calculating all that in. Then and increase that shit too. But like, I don't know, man. Like I do think that the pay should be better. I do not believe that like a private E1 to E3 should be making $60,000 to $80,000 a year. That's stupid.
So this is July 25th, 2024. Junior enlisted troops to get a $120 bonus in combat economic hardships. So yeah, junior enlisted troops will get $20 added to their paychecks for the next 6 months through a congressionally authorized pot of money intended to help fight the rising cost of living for the lowest paid in the military.
That's just a
$20, bro.
Bro, once again, that's just a bonus. Like that,
right.
That to me, when I see that shit, it's just like the stimulus checks that everybody got. Except now, instead of giving them all that at one time, we're gonna be like, okay, well here, it's just $20 extra a month that you're gonna see for 6 months, man.
Bro,
like it's not that big of a deal.
If you got a $120 stimulus check, you got fucking shit on.
No. What I'm saying is, once again, that's what I look at it. Now, I could see anybody being outraged at that if they were saying, guess what? This whole year, you're only going to get $20 extra. Your paycheck is only going to go $20. But what we're saying is, hey, listen, man, because we understand you're in the military, and it doesn't have to be much, but here, listen, man, just be great. You know what I mean? I guarantee you there's soldiers that are grateful for that $20. Guarantee you every month.
So check this out. The House proposed a 20% raise for junior enlisted troops in its draft defense authorization bill for fiscal 2025, so for next year. But it was rejected last month by the White House. The pay increase was a key part of the House efforts to improve quality of life for service members. So that was opposed by the White House. The White House said it opposed making such a significant change before a quadrennial review of military pay is complete.
Okay, so
it occurs to me.
When did this happen?
July 25th.
This year. Okay, who's in control of the House? So once again, now, just because this is what we got to understand. Who controls the purse?
So again, it was denied by the White House,
No. Who controls the purse?
Congress.
All right. Once again, it was a proposal. Show me
Mhm.
where Mike Johnson brought this to the floor for a vote.
I don't know.
Okay,
I'm
so
just
if
reading off of what I have here, bro.
I
I don't
know,
watch C-SPAN all day.
I know that we're reading off of what we have here, but this is what I want the audience to know. Mike Johnson is the Speaker of the House. Mike
Hmm.
Johnson can bring that to the floor, right? But if he brings that to the
Okay.
floor, now everybody's going to have their name attached to a vote. If that
Okay.
was to pass, right? Because it's
Hmm.
the House is held by Republicans, then it would have gone to the Senate. Democrats control the Senate. So now that vote passes, we can say, damn, Republicans are really trying to do some shit. The
Hmm.
Democrats, they control the Senate.
So how did it get to
Block
the White House to be opposed if it didn't go through both?
it. The thing
Uh,
is, though, once again, it can be. The thing it did not say was it was vetoed by the president. It said opposed, which means
okay.
that it has not been written into law yet for him to
Right, but if it was
decide
if it
not
was,
to.
if it was already opposed, then you know that means it's dead on arrival.
No, but here's the
I'm just
caveat to that. Here's the caveat to that. Any bill can be dead on arrival to the president's desk. But guess what? Two-thirds votes vetoes the
mhm.
fucking veto of the fucking president, and it's getting
So
signed
check
into
this
law
out.
anyway.
Let me finish reading what it says then. The White House said it opposed making such a significant change before the quadrennial review of the military pay. It occurs to me that if we don't summon the will to take these issues seriously, the commander in chief may not have an all volunteer force to command in a few years, Bacon said. Congress will have the last word, and I look forward to discussions with my Senate colleagues once they finish the consideration and pass their NDA so we can begin conference negotiations. So, I mean, it's still in negotiations, apparently. You know, hopefully something changes. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, let's be real. These privates don't get paid enough. You know, E1 through E5 don't get paid enough. Um,
I-
but you know, at the same time, I always say, you know, it comes down to living within your means. Nobody's telling that private to go buy a brand new motherfucking Hemi Charger
Hellcat.
or Hellcat, whatever it is.
Yeah, getting that
So,
scatty pack. No, like I said, man, I believe they do. But that's why I say, man, when we read these things, we have to realize, okay, a president can oppose something, but as
right.
long as within the legislative, and I know you hate how I say that word. Once again, it's how I pronounce it, right?
I got you, baby.
As long as there's two-thirds votes, it doesn't matter what the president does. People are afraid to attach their names to votes.
Oh yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
doctors, lawyers, and judges. They are afraid to write their name on any paper endorsing anything unless they know that
Mhm.
all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. They're not just going to willy-nilly write their name on shit.
And the fucked up thing about it is, though, the ones that end up on the losing end are the veterans, are the soldiers, and well, are the service members, because they never want to fucking pass just a clean fucking bill. They always got to attach stupid shit to it. You know,
But
like
the Democrats and Republicans blame both of them because
exactly.
no
No,
one
I
wants to
blame. I'm
get out
not
there and
pointing
hit.
the
Yeah.
finger. I'm not pointing the finger at either or. I'm blaming all of them. Honestly, what they need to do is get all those old ass geezers out and let some fresh blood in there. That's
Yeah,
what they need to do.
they need to let. I do believe this, right? There needs to be more enlisted people. Fuck the officers. The officers
Hmm.
don't have a post. Like even the officers themselves say, guess who runs the fucking army? The NCOs and the fucking soldiers. This isn't fucking.
A
I can't
fucking
speak for
man.
the rest of the. Well, I can't speak. I can't speak for the rest of the branches, right? But the army is ran from the NCOs and the fucking soldiers. The non-commissioned officers and the soldiers
I'll be
run
right
the
back. I need to fill
fucking
my
army.
coffee.
Yeah, plain and simple. So I believe that there needs to be a lot more enlisted people on these. I don't care what fucking source you get your fucking news from, right? I don't care if it's fucking fuck news, oh asshole news, fucking news max bullshit that you're gonna hear every day, whether it's CNN, MSNBC, wherever you get your news from. They always have these officers on there. They need enlisted people on there because the officers only see things. They're not seeing things from the big foxhole. They're not in the foxhole looking at shit. They're somewhere outside in the back commanding shit while shit goes on. So there needs to be
Hmm.
more enlisted people in Congress. Fuck all the
I
officers.
agree.
Enlisted people, bro. Everybody that's gonna see this, listen to this right now. If you are enlisted, take that step and fucking do this shit. Like I got it. Some of y'all are gonna be some crazy ass conservatives. God bless you. But go do that shit and speak up for the enlisted people. Put fucking Republican conservative aside and bring an enlisted person's point of view to a big audience. Because now they're just seeing fucking officers talk shit.
With that, for the field artillery. All right, I'm gonna say for the field artillery alone, officers aren't really needed. I'm just saying. I mean, we can take accountability of our own shit. We can plan accordingly. We don't need an XO. We don't even have an XO. You know what I'm saying? The battery commander, I get it. He's in charge of everything and he talks with the fucking higher ups. But honestly, we don't. What do we need an LT for out in motherfucking out in the field?
So
to
I
fucking
believe,
go ahead.
No, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, well, what I'm saying is the most I saw a LT do out there, honestly, was bump the circles and then they verified where we're laid. Verified,
Big they do the big three verification.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, that's shit that we learn how to do as if you're a high-speed specialist, you learn how to do that as specialist and above.
I do believe that they are needed. Officers are needed, right?
To fill out paperwork.
They're needed, but at the same time, they're more like, I got it, man. When you think about it, and I think this is because I had to work with officers a lot, right?
Okay.
We talk about planning. These are the ones that are in charge of the planning. They're good at planning and having their intent. Right. Non-commissioned officers are good at taking that intent and being like, okay, I can weed this shit out because this shit ain't gonna fucking work. And this is what the fuck we're gonna do. And then we're good at executing their intent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because like it's so cliche, man. It's like it's like this Navy SEAL dude said, two people, you can plan all you want, but two people are still gonna get a vote. Murphy and the enemy. Mm-hmm. They're gonna get a vote. So you can have this person planning this perfect mission, but you still have to, and that's the intent. But now you got to have the people that are going to do the direct actions, right, from that intent, and need to think autonomously on their own and fucking draw fire.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you said, the officer's job, honestly, is to plan, and our job as NCOs was to execute. You know what I mean? And hopefully, if you got a good LT, they'll listen to guidance or advice from the platoon sergeant. But ultimately, the reason that there's an officer there is because they went to college, and they hold all the responsibility of any shit that goes wrong. Apparently. So Ellis said only if these.
At the end of the day, that shit's gonna come right back down to the fucking chief or the goddamn platoon sergeant or the fucking.
It is. Every time that round went down range, it was my rank going with it. That's what I used to tell my fucking soldiers. Every time that round goes down, there goes my rank with it. So don't hit Walmart. Shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, what do you think? What if to help recruiting, they allowed weed to be smoked in the military?
I think that it needs to be regulated like just like drinking. Like it's not on duty. You don't drink on duty. Don't do cannabis on. Don't no weed pens, no vape pens, nothing with THC, CBD, nothing on duty, right? And when you go to the field, no drinking, none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? If you're off on your own time, hey, yeah, cool. Guess what? They still need to regulate it. If there needs to be a field sobriety test done, and we need to come up with a way to do that to test if somebody is high, I'm pretty sure you can look at their pupils and see that they may be under the influence.
Exactly.
Okay, so then you treat them just like you would somebody that has a Dewey. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? You were impaired and you're operating a motor vehicle. You're fucked.
See, and that's why I agree with you. I think that the allowance of cannabis use or weed use should be permitted in the military as long as it's done recreationally, huh?
Yeah. Not in the barracks, just like if you were smoking a cigarette or Black and Mild or something, go to the smoke area.
Right. No, I mean, this should be something that should be allowed, just like we were saying, like, with alcohol use. If alcohol, and I think alcohol is more detrimental than weed is. Because, I mean, a lot of motherfuckers, when they stone, they just want to fucking happy, hungry, sleepy. You know what I'm saying? Cat Williams said it. But motherfuckers be getting drunk They go out and beat fools up and get into fights, blackout. I never heard of a motherfucker on weed wanting to fight. You know what I mean? Like they fight hunger.
Yeah.
That's about it. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm saying it'll be so less stressful too. I think it's a less stressful environment now because, and I'm not trying to be one of them people, but I do think that it is a little bit too soft. I do think there needs to be more sternness, but maybe not to the level of sternness that my brief time came up in, but the people before me. I don't think it needs to be that stern, but there needs to be that level of sternness, kind of like a Colonel Sessons level of sternness,
Right.
all throughout the fucking, what's it called? Not with iPro and shit, but there still needs to be a level of sternness to where, like, we understand we are not catering to you. We're not doing that. You are going to conform
100%.
to us. You came here.
100%.
We didn't go to you. You came here. You were conforming to certain things that we're doing. We understand shit needs to change.
That's what I was going to get to.
Yeah, certain things do need to change. God damn it. I can't think of the dude's name right now, but he's on TikTok. He went viral because he had a beard and he was going to take over as the first art.
Yep.
So he had said something in April about as far as like 670-1. He was like, listen, there's certain things that like you need people to be in the room representing everybody when you're making these changes. He said, how can a bald person make, recommendations about haircuts? You're bald. How can fucking people that don't have 4C hair make judgments about this? Like, y'all don't know the standards for this. And what happened was they wound up doing it, and they're like, okay, yeah, now we got some data. We can go do the research. We can do this, that, and the third, and we can adjust shit. I'm fully for people having beards in the fucking army. Trimmed, neat, all that shit. I'm for it 100%. It does not make somebody look less professional, especially when you can look at their fucking, all their criteria, because their criteria backs up their professionalism.
So with that, and this is where it's a slippery slope. Because all it's gonna take is that one fucking idiot that doesn't adhere to the standards. Look at all these guys right now that they claim they're pagan or they're Wiccan or Norse gods and growing these fucking beards. They're doing it 9 times out of 10 just because they want a fucking beard. You know what I mean? So, and it's just long, and it looks, to me personally, it just takes away from the standardization of a uniform, from the professionalism of what a soldier is supposed to look like. That's just my opinion. When I think of a soldier, I think of a clean cut motherfucking, just ready to fucking go and kill some motherfuckers.
No, like that's the thing though. Like it's crazy. Like you can still be, but if people are out of regulations, one, it's incumbent upon everybody, even that private, to know the grooming standards of 670-1 and not be afraid to say,
how you doing, Doc K?
And not be afraid to say,
what's up?
And not be afraid to say, hey, listen, at the end of the day, respectfully, this is wrong. You're out of grooming standards. And if they're too afraid to do it, guess what? And if the private is too scared to tell the fucking staff sergeant, hey, chief, hey, listen, this is wrong. It's giving a bad example. Like, can you go talk to him? Can you go talk to this other staff sergeant about it? And let him know that, like, soldiers are looking at this and he's not upholding the standard. Right. Okay, cool. Got it. Hey, Battle, come here. Let me talk to you real quick. Hey, man, your shit is out of standard, man. Like, you got soldiers over here looking at you.
100%.
And without giving up nobody's name. But you're like, hey, man, the soldiers are seeing this shit. Soldiers know you out of regulation. You know you out of regulation. Tighten this shit up. This is why they don't want us to have shit, because people like you are fucking up. So now you got to test the intestinal fortitude, right, of that other person to tell their battle buddy, you were fucking wrong. You need to tighten the fuck up.
Bro, I'm sorry I laughed when you said intestinal fortitude. I think I told this story already about this one sergeant that was going to the staff sergeant board, and they asked him define leadership, and he said to provide purpose, direction, and intestinal fortitude.
Yeah, balls.
Oh, man. But yeah, man. So I mean, check it out. As far as like the grooming standards go, I just believe that the military is a profession unlike the other professions out in the civilian sector. We are separate. We're not better. I'm not saying that we're better than them, but we have, like you said, you decided to join the military. But now that you join the military, now you want to go ahead and make changes to that are going to be applied to you. You see what I'm saying? Fuck that. You knew coming in that you were going to get your head cut bald, automatic, right? You knew that coming in, there were going to be standards regarding facial hair. You knew that. So why are you trying to change that shit now? If you don't like it, be gone. That's all there's to it. So that's what I'm saying. That's just my point of view. Now, is it affecting recruiting? If it's really affecting recruiting that much, then what the fuck kind of world do we have where motherfuckers are too scared to adapt a small thing to serve their country?
That's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
But what you can do for your country. I talked about that yesterday, dog. How the Democrat Party went from that's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country, to now we're going to give you free health care. We're going to give you free child care. We're going to give you free education. What the fuck? First of all, it's not free. It's not free. Taxpayers are paying for that shit. Yo, I don't know if you saw Bernie Sanders was on Theo Vaughn. I don't know if you know who Theo Vaughn is.
Yeah, I know who Theo Vaughn is.
It was a good fucking episode, man. You should check that one out.
Well, we're paying for fucking Israel's fucking their health care and fucking.
Don't get me started. And we're paying for the fucking Taliban. Meanwhile, we paid $11 million to The Rock. $11 million to The Rock for recruiting purposes, right? And we ended up losing over 30 fucking enlistees saying, nah, I ain't doing it.
Well, I will say this as far as like the grooming standards, right? Even in the grooming standards, there are certain outlines, i.e. for people that they're more commonly, and it's, I guess, it's a biological thing. Because we know 9 times out of 10, who is going to be the ones with I forgot what the actual name of the medical term is.
Those bumps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who's going to be the ones that suffer it? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I got some right now on my face since I just shaved. It's nothing I'm doing to purposely get them. They just happen like that. But once we see this, right, and what we can do, because there is this policy that's like, hey, listen, we understand that there's something, dermatitis or whatever happens, right?
Right.
Instead of making people feel ashamed about it, right, and making it seem like you can't be a good leader because your body naturally reacts to shaving in a certain way. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Go ahead and do this, but it has to stay in standard. And just because it's in standard, that doesn't mean that you're a shitty leader. That doesn't mean that you don't need to be a fucking first sergeant, command sergeant major, nothing. This is your body, how it reacts. We understand that, right? Mm-hmm. And we don't think that you're a shitty leader. You are 100%. Within standards.
100% with you on that. Where that fucking certain NCO fucked up was when he was fucking touting and clowning on TikTok.
I don't think
to me that was that's unprofessional, dog. You're a fucking E8, bro.
No, okay, so I can't.
How are we gonna talk shit about fucking privates, E1 through E5 or whatever, E1 through E4, doing stupid shit on TikTok, doing stupid shit on social media, but then you have a E8 up there talking shit, doing the same thing we're telling the low enlisted not to do. That right there is failure as a non-commissioned officer, in my point of view.
Yeah, my point of view is this: what you're doing is letting people know, hey, listen. When people will tell you that you can never be something because you have a medical condition, and then you're showing people like, listen, don't worry about your medical condition. We understand that, like, just like we tell people right now, if you are hurt, go to fucking sick call. Fuck all this shit, right? This is my medical condition. I'm wearing this. People were telling me that I wouldn't be shit. I wouldn't make it as a first sergeant. Look, I can make it. If I can make it with my medical condition, you can make it. This is the same.
I get that.
Same individual. So, do you know the rest of his story? When he went to
Here's my thing, Hunt. So here's the thing, Hunt. He could have said those things that he did without making it a fucking roast session, is what I'm saying. It was unprofessional the way he did it. That's what I'm saying. Especially in uniform, you're going to go out there and clown around like that. That's what I'm saying. Now, if he would have sat down and been like, hey, you know what? Certain individual said that I was never going to be amount to the rank of E8 or first sergeant because of my facial hair, because I have to, I have this dermatitis bullshit. But here I am trying to show them and prove them incorrect. I was able to make it. Same thing happened with the fucking tattoos. My motherfuckers weren't able to get tattoos on their hands and shit like that. I remember my homeboy Fonzie. Fonzie had a tattoo on his hand. And fucking, I remember Sergeant Major Mendoza said, oh, you're never going to make E7. Motherfucker, he just retired as a first sergeant. So I mean, but I mean, I get what you're saying. I just think that the delivery was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Do we want to go out there and clown the motherfucker? Yes. But do we do it? No, not in uniform, bro, because that's taken away from the image of what a professional military is supposed to look like. Why do you think the Army always gets clowned versus the fucking Marine Corps? Why do they always say the Marine Corps has the most discipline?
Fuck the Marine Corps. But
we all know that the jarheads are. We all know the jarheads are the jarheads. However, but they're not out there as much as the Army is making fools out of themselves. And I'm not gonna lie, thank God, Mill Talk, I've done seen it's not as
toxic,
retarded as it used to be.
Toxic, maybe. Martyrdom pay is stupid, K. And I want you to know this is coming from somebody that is a liberal, or as somebody suggested yesterday, a commie. I was out doing commie things yesterday. But yes, the martyrdom pay, I don't agree with it. I'm a liberal with common sense. I don't even think I'm the typical liberal.
I don't think you are either. I think through time you've come towards the center a little bit. Not much. What y'all don't understand. What y'all don't understand is that Hunt here back in 2020, when I first started this podcast, I used to have a segment. I used to call it the Angry Black Man segment. And I used to play his shorts. And did I tell you? I'm bringing Angry White Man segment.
Yeah, I know. In the group chat, yeah.
We talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But that would be funny as shit. But no, I mean, honestly, you have common sense. Some of your ideas are a little bit communistic, socialistic. But I mean, at the end of the day, who's going to pay for it?
Our ideas.
So here, like my biggest problem is what we're spending on Ukraine, what we're spending with Israel, that could be spent here in the U.S. within our barracks, our soldiers,
our veterans, like our homeless veterans, man. Like, this is one thing, I got it. So this is where I may seem like a hypocrite, because at the end of the day, I think it is incumbent upon every fucking soldier to go while you were in. Go get checked out. And I don't think there's enough veterans, especially the homeless ones, that know that, hey, listen, man, go to those VA centers. Let them, all you got to do is tell them your Social Security. They're going to pull that shit up. They can house you for a certain amount of time, right? On the VA campus. They'll be able to house you for a certain amount of time. So you can be good. And then they can help you with different programs. Like
that stuff I didn't even know about.
Yeah, I found out. I forgot exactly what they wore. I swear to God, man, they'll be able to house you for a limited amount of time, just so you can kind of and so they can start kind of getting your pay and shit right. Because a lot of these veterans don't have pay, right? That are living on the streets. So that's what that limited housing is for, to try to get them in the system so they can start getting their pay. They can get their own financial money a little bit, even though it may be a little bit, and possibly, get a place of their own. Kind of get them something to where they have income and they're stable. They can afford to feed themselves and potentially house themselves.
I think that one of the things that we also need to focus on is a lot of the mental health of our veterans that are out there living on the streets. I think the majority of them probably have mental health issues. You know what I'm saying? And what fucks things up a lot is those motherfucking malingering motherfuckers that end up with 100% VA out of basic training or out of six months of training.
I know motherfuckers on their first contract. Their first contract is 100%.
And that to me, it fucks things up because.
So I'm gonna say this: there are some things that qualify for them to get a higher rating. There's some things that do happen, i.e., sexual assault,
MST.
Yeah. So if you
I'm tracking
that is legit, 100%.
No, I'm not taking that away. I'm talking about these motherfuckers that go through boot camp, did the 6 months, didn't even do a fucking deployment, and all of a sudden they're putting goddamn, please don't put fireworks around my house because it triggers my PTSD.
I think of that even with the people that did one deployment. Like, bro, stop it.
Yes, sir. My dad got epilepsy in the Marines and never got any of his benefits from the VA because he thought it was weak to get help. And that right there is the issue that we've had all the way up to our generation in GWAT. I think that a lot of the cats after GWAT or during the GWAT was we still had the mentality of suck it up and drive on, especially if you were in combat arms. Specifically, I'm gonna speak for combat arms. Suck it up and drive on. Now, through the years after getting out, people have been saying, "Hey, go get your shit documented and make sure you're taken care of on the way out." You know what I mean? Which needs to happen. Now, that doesn't mean go over there and fucking juice the government and take all the money you can just because by malingering. All right, that's the biggest thing, the malingering. If it's legit, go get paid for it.
Bro,
That's my issue.
bro. I broke down the formation, like, and I deployed in 2003 initial invasion, but and we came back in 03. Man, a lot of people don't know this shit, dude. I broke down the formation and started crying back home in Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? After we got back, and I had to go talk to the chaplain, and
it'd be like that.
Yeah, it just that was, you got to think about it, man. That was OIF1, man. That was some crazy shit.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like that. And you know what's a trip, man? There's this song. I've been doing reactions to this dude named Soldier Hard. He was a tanker, and that motherfucker, his songs, bro. There's this one called Triggers that the first one I did a reaction to. That motherfucker talked some deep shit on that one. And then I did another one yesterday called KIA, If I Was KIA, where he's talking to his family, like if he would have been KIA. So I'll be doing another reaction today on one of his songs. That motherfucker, he talks shit that is relatable. You know what I mean? And it's not every day that a motherfucker feels like shit. But it is, all it takes is one thing to fuck your day up. And that's it. I'm gonna put myself out there real quick. To me, it's not like they show in Vietnam, like Vietnam movies, that you're fucking back in the jungles and fucking, you're getting attacked by Charlie, and that's next thing you know, it's 15 minutes later and you're still in line at HEB. No. For me, it's something as simple as I'm driving on the 1604 or the 35, coming by an overpass. I'm just wandering off in my mind, and the sun just happens to hit a certain way over an overpass, and that's all it takes. And all of a sudden, I'm on Tampa. You know what I'm saying? But it's not all day. It's just like for that brief second, like, oh shit, damn. But that ruins the rest of my fucking drive, because now physically I got the chills, and now for some reason I'm hyperactive or hyper vigilant, looking at the side of the fucking roads, and it fucks up my whole rest of my day. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense, but to me,
what's crazy? I actually had a dream about being in the fucking army again. Like,
I keep having those
this year, but for whatever reason, this year I've been having so many dreams about being back in the army. Like, for instance, like it was this. She's a career counselor. I happen to know her. She's a master sergeant, but we're both in uniform. Somebody comes throw something on her desk, and I'm like, "Hey, guy, get the fuck back here and hand that to her right now." And meanwhile, she's just laughing and cracking up about this shit. And this motherfucker reluctantly do this. And I'm like, yo, I don't know who the fuck you think you, like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I woke up, I was like, why am I still having dreams? This year has been the worst for me with having dreams about being back in the fucking army.
I've been having a lot of dreams about being back in the military for some reason or another. And I don't know why. But and sometimes I'll dream about shit that never occurred. Or about, people that I know that passed and we're in it together. You know what I'm saying? And I know in my dream that they've passed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's like a guilt that I have in my head or something. I don't know. But, we're either back in Iraq or we're in Afghanistan or out in fucking the middle of nowhere. It's just a trip. I'm doing shit I never did. Like, I'm an airborne motherfucker. I'm airborne qualified in my dreams, dog. I come out, and I do my 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,004. Like the cadence. Like if I know what the fuck I'm doing, dog. Yeah. I ain't never been airborne. Shit.
I will say this. I find myself too thinking a lot about out of all the deployments, man. Like, for whatever reason, I've been thinking about OIF1 a lot lately. Like, I was thinking about I think it may have to do with JD Vance and Waltz and everything that's going on right now with that criticism. And like I said, man, like I hate to be a vet bro and be that person, because I understand that everybody lived a different experience when it came to deploying. And I understand how some people think about people that deployed, didn't deploy. And I always have to keep myself in check because I'm like, a part of me wants to be like, bro, y'all weren't over there when we didn't have no up armored Humvees, when we didn't
Mm-hmm.
have sappy plates, sappy plates. We didn't have
Mm-hmm.
that shit. We had nothing. Y'all weren't over there for that shit.
Right.
Like y'all didn't have to drive from goddamn Kuwait all the way up to fucking about 45 minutes south of Mosul.
Hmm.
A lot of y'all didn't do that. I was like, y'all lucky y'all went over there in your first deployment. You had all this body armor. You had them protections. I got it. The Humvee was hot as shit, but you had some protection. Y'all didn't have to fucking just stand up on the bustle rack with a fucking the T&E, put it in the fucking tent pole, wrapped with some
Right.
550 cord 100-mile-an-hour taped to one of the bows. I was
Right.
like y'all can't talk to me about this shit. And then I had to
Right.
remind myself, yo, stop it. You're being somebody you don't want to be.
But see, here's the thing. Those type of things are told to people that need to be humbled.
Ooh, no,
And
no,
I'm
no.
about to get
You
with
heard
you
me
right
listen.
now, Doc K, on that one. We're gonna touch on that one real quick. Just to close this one out real fast. Some people need to be humbled that way. You know what I mean? They do. They need to be humbled. Like, look, motherfucker, you were a goddamn counter clicker at the DFAC. You didn't do shit. You are not a combat vet. You are a fucking veteran of a combat theater, but you are not a combat veteran. And with that said, we're gonna talk about this now. Doc K, she says, "I wonder why I lived. I think it would be easier to have passed over there, to be honest." What you got on?
I hate that people have that feeling. Doc, hey, I know I don't know you, and I'm not trying to pass judgment. And I know that one, because Lopez has told me I don't know how to talk to people the right way, and I don't know how to, put my point across. But I hate that you feel that way because even though I don't know you, there are hundreds of people that do know you, and those hundreds of people are so thankful that you're here today. And I understand they may not know how you feel internally, but to them, you are an inspiration. You're a reason to keep going. You are somebody that they look up to. They may not tell you these things, but you give people strength just by living. So, once again, I don't know how your internal mechanisms are working, and I'm not judging you or criticizing you because everybody does have that feeling. But I just want to reassure you that even though people that you know in your circle, your tribe, are not telling you this, those people are so thankful that you did come back. They may not tell you on a daily basis, a monthly basis, a weekly basis, yearly basis, but just by you existing today, you are inspiring them in ways that they may not be able to tell you right now, right? So
100%.
no, you're
And
you're
with
here
that,
for a reason.
so with Hunt saying that he doesn't know how to talk to people, what I'm talking about is when he delivers a message regarding political statements, that's when he doesn't know how to talk to people. It's like it's rage. He becomes that angry black
If
man.
you just say, yo,
Nah, but
fuck this, this is how this shit needs to be done.
but 100% Doc K, like he was saying, all I can do is just do like a first time, just caveat and piggyback off of him. I think a lot of us had that same thought or have had that same thought. I know personally, when I was in Mosul, I did not think I was coming back. Honestly, did not think I was coming back. It's a trip because when Hunt came and relieved us over there, because his unit came in to relieve me in place out there in Mosul in Marez. I guess it must have been easy. It was chill that during that time, right? Y'all didn't get into too much shit.
We barbecued over there one Sunday. Had a
See,
battery barbecue.
we barbecued too because the Haji shop had fucking steaks that they would sell, probably camel. But we were barbecuing because we had just killed a couple. We had just taken care of some violent extremists, as they would call them.
ETS, you ETS
Yes.
people off the census.
There you go. So I mean, we were getting fucked up pretty much out there a lot during that year from '09 to 2010. And I honestly didn't think I was going to come back. I honestly did not. Mosul was no fucking joke. Going out in those fucking Al Mansour was a fucking shit show. But anyways, but like he's saying, man, I'm sure we all thought that. But while it might seem like the pain may end, it just continues with the family you left behind. You know what I mean? And I want you, Doc K, I want you to go check out that Soldier Hard song called If I Was KIA. I think a lot of us, honestly, I wish sometimes that I would just deploy back over there because life was a lot easier. Life was a lot easier back there on deployment.
Yeah.
All I had
It
to do was
was.
just stay alive.
Life was easy as fuck. Like, oh God, like I don't know, man. Like I've talked to a lot of people and I ask them all the time, man. Like knowing what you know now, if you had a choice, would you do it again? And they're like, yeah. And I feel the same way. I would definitely do it again. If there is like I do believe in reincarnation. I'm not gonna lie. And I know maybe
Mhm.
going off, but I do
Nah,
want to be
not about it
born
all.
an American again.
Hmm.
I do want to be born black again. Wow.
Not in the 1800s though.
No, I'm talking about reincarnation now because the cycles keep going, the years keep going. So I do want to be born an American again. I want to be born
Right.
black again, and I want to join the military again.
Hell yeah. I'll tell you what. And shout out Ellis. You know what? Me and Ellis, he was one of my dismounts when we were out there in Mosul together. So he can double tap on what I'm saying right now. He says your playlist helped us. My playlist, my playlist. You know what was the song that I played every time we went out on mission?
Fuck the mother, cause I'm down for money.
Nope. You're gonna laugh, dog.
What?
Cause you're hot
Partying?
and you're cold. You're
Oh God,
yes and you're no.
yeah.
You're in and you're out. You're up and you're down.
There's a
I
party
played
in the USA.
motherfucking. Oh man, I played motherfucking Katy Perry, hot and cold because it helped break the what's it called? What am I looking for? It helped break the tension of getting ready to go out in country.
So yeah, is this
So
just
yeah, my
that?
playlist.
Yeah, there is that thing that I don't know what it is. Anytime you leave the wire, man, there's just that heightened sense. It's like, okay, guys, we got to be ready. You know what I'm saying?
What?
So there's still, I think that a lot of commands that I had, they didn't understand that. I think a lot of commands they were just too serious. And I got it. You have to be
Mhm.
serious. At the same time, you have to kind of bring the mood. There's a balance to
Oh
where you
yeah.
can bring it down, but still stay focused and let everybody know, hey, listen, guys, we're still going to be vigilant, but we're going to just go on normally, right? We're going to
Hmm.
just normal, but we're going to be vigilant. I think that when you have people wound up as tight as some of us were, especially back in the
Hmm.
'06, right? That's
Hmm.
where a lot of like hardships come from now that we're back in the States because we were too wound up for too long. And there was too much of that hypervigilism. And I know I said the name, pronounced that wrong.
No, you
There
got
was
it. You
too
got it.
there was too much of that. And there was nothing to kind of get us to relax a little bit. Our muscles were too tight and too tense. And now it's par for the course.
So it's funny you mentioned that because what I tell people, like a lot of people, that in order to get them to understand, is that when we're deployed, we're under a lot of stress when we first get there. But then the stress seems to go away, and we're no longer feeling that stress. But it's because we've come accustomed to it. Kind of like when you go into cold weather, you climatize, right? You
Mhm.
acclimate to it. Same thing with the stress. We acclimated to it. And then when we get back, we don't realize that we're still acclimated to that hypervigilance that we had out there because that was our new normal. You see what I'm saying? So when we come back over here, that's how we don't get taught how to readjust. Those fucking what 3 weeks of classes or 1 week of classes they give us when we come back over here
Mhm.
for reintegration,
No
they
one's
don't
paying
do
attention.
shit.
No one is paying
No.
attention to that
And
shit.
then when you go
Everybody's
through your
regular.
fucking when you're at SRP and you're fucking doing your med pros, all you're doing is anything to give you a green light so that you can fucking be gone and chuck deuces. You know what I'm saying? So
And then on
let's
top of
be
that,
real.
you're really in line with your battle buddies anyway. You're close friends, so you're just making sure you staying in line with them anyway. So you're hurrying up and going through
Fact.
that shit. You fucking way.
Fact. And then somebody's gonna tell you, like, hey, don't put in there you drink more than 3 beers a week because then they're gonna refer you to ASAP. You know what?
Drink
Like,
more
what the
than
fuck?
yeah.
3 beers a week? I mean, fool, I used to drink
Oh,
3 beers a night. I almost slipped right there.
yeah.
Goddamn.
Man, listen, I can't even tell you how many I drink a night. I can before night ends, I'll drink 3 tall boys like it ain't shit,
Mm-hmm.
and be like, fuck it, yeah, it is what it is.
Dog, I used to drink 340s. All
You
right.
know,
So I mean, that's just because I'm an old school cat like that. But I mean, on the real side, when we get back, we're not taught how to acclimate back to the real world, the civilian sector, and I think that's why we always feel a certain kinship and a certain comfort when we're around other veterans, whether we serve with them or not. I'll tell you, like I felt good when I go to the VA, and I would go to the smoke shack, and this one cat's like, "Hey, what's going on, Big Sarge?" And obviously, I hate being called Big Sarge when I was in the military because they never called me Sarge. Just so people know, out there in the civilian sector, don't call it Sarge. All right, just don't. It's Sarn. All right, I'll go with Sarn, but not Sarge. But he was like, "Hey, what's going on, Big Sarn?" And like, "What's going on, big dog?" You know, and he was a cat from the islands, and you know, we were just talking like we had known each other. We were in the smoke shack, just chopping it up and shooting the shit, you know. And it sucks that we don't get reacclimated to the civilian sector. And anyways, back to your point about Mosul. So the reason in Mosul I didn't think I was gonna make it back, bro, was because they told us that the unit we had just relieved, they were first cav unit, I think, as well. And these motherfuckers were a bunch of cowboys, dog. They were a bunch of infantry hua cowboy motherfuckers. And when they were out in the markets, motherfuckers would pop up, cap them in the fucking head, and then just take off running into the market. And you know how they took away our fucking rules of engagement, where we used to be able to push them out 100 meters, like keep our bubble. You know, they wouldn't let us do that no more. So now they are able to come walk by us, and those RKG3 grenades, those motherfuckers were no joke. Those motherfuckers were being launched at us. All right. You think you're golden in Civvy World till you lose your shit over a coworker who isn't on point. You treat them like you're a troop. Yep, that was an eye opener for me. Oh yeah.
So I made sure I took all the markings off, so we don't. So you don't
fuck them putos. I'm never gonna get monetized, dog. It's all good. This is my therapy without the therapist. This is what this has turned into, a therapy session, you know. And I tell you, like at work, when I was working at the first office that I did, well, I was there for about 8 years. One of my biggest issues was the way I projected and communicated with people. I had to learn how to communicate again with the civilian sector without sounding commanding or threatening.
Bro, like I feel you, because motherfuckers on TikTok, like, you know, I have a nice presence on TikTok. It's not nothing that big. I have a nice little presence. Bro, motherfuckers be like, you can't say that. And I'm like, why? Why can't I? Why the fuck can't I say this? Like, yeah, it is what it is.
How you gonna tell me? Exactly. Like Doc K said, they're sensitive. Yes, they're very, very fucking sensitive out there.
Yes, they are. And it's crazy because once again, Doc K, like I said, man, like it's no surprise. And I'm not ashamed of it. I'm a fucking liberal. I'm a liberal. But I'm a liberal with common sense. For instance, there's a lot of people that are mad at Miss Harris because, oh my God, she locked up black man and blah, blah, blah. And you're not mad as a black man? No. Because those fucking idiots did the fucking crime. They did the shit. She did what she was supposed to do as a prosecutor. At the end of the day, guess whose fault it was that they got longer sentences? The fucking judge. The judge was like, this is what I'm going to give you. Right? If she, and on top of that, it was like 195. 195, 44 were black people. 45 were black people, were black men. I don't care. At the end of the day, you did the fucking crime. That shit came across her desk. Right? We had a sergeant major. Hey, listen, I'm not going out looking for shit. But if it come across my desk, I got to deal with it.
Well, I'll say this. I don't think the fact that she locked up black men was the problem. I think as Tulsi Gabbard had explained was, yeah, I know how much you hate my girl Tulsi. Yeah, that's my girl. But you know what? She could have won the fucking Democrat ticket if she wasn't fucking drowned out by the Clinton machine. But anywho, you know, why? Because she took down Kamala Harris like a beast during the debates. And it was just that alone is why people dislike Kamala. Because she's out there saying, you know, she was out there laughing on, was Charlemagne the God about fucking you know, smoking herb after she locked up all these fools. And I don't give a shit about the race. You know, that's what I don't care about is the race, to be honest. And Campos says, true, you did the crime, but is the punishment just?
Okay, so once again, when we talk about this Campos, right, who is the one that hands down the punishment in the sentence? It's not the prosecutor. The prosecutor does not hand down the punishment or the sentence.
But they can make recommendations.
They can make recommendations, but it's ultimately up to the judge. Like I can recommend. Think about it like this: as a what's it called, right? Your soldier gets in trouble. You recommend that, hey, listen, just suspend them. Give them a suspended bus. That commander is going to say, fuck that, 45, 45.
45, 45, baby.
You know what I'm saying? I can recommend whatever. At the end of the day, it is the judge that passes down the sentence. So we can't get mad at the prosecutor. We can't. That's stupid. The judge is the one that made the sentence, not the prosecutor.
Well, again, I don't think it's just that. I mean, if people are just focusing on that part, then they're missing out on the whole, like Smoke Norwood would say, ball picture. Well, Smoke Norwood, but they're missing out on the whole ball picture. I swear to God,
my fucking hair don't want to fucking act right today.
So Smoke Norwood, right? He was chewing our ass off one time right before we were going to bed, and he was going through the room doing the room inspections, and apparently one of the fucking beds wasn't made and shit. This is back in Baghdad, and he's like, everybody, get on out in the hallway, get on the hallway. See, y'all done brought me into the ball picture now. In our head, we're like, you mean ballpark? But and then he's like, if the shoe fit, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Goddamn good old Smoke Norwood. I love you, Smoke Norwood. I will follow you to fucking war all over again. But good night. Please don't ever try to come up with those goddamn sayings again. But dude, I think that people are focusing on the wrong things. Look, you know what DEI hires are? That's what Kamala was. And you know who else was a DEI hire? That Australian breakdancer.
So this is my thing with DEI hires. I don't know why people want to bitch about that now. DEI hires are nothing but legacy kids. Those legacy kids are DEI hires. Those legacy kids are the ones that are going to Yale, that are going to Harvard.
No, that's more nepotism. That's more the nepotism.
That is DEI hires because they're going to those places just because their father, their mother was legacy. They are a legacy DEI hire.
Right, but that's not DEI. That's more of.
It's the same thing because guess what? Because now they didn't earn their spot to this Fortune 500 company. Oh, so you're so and so's son. Well, you're a DEI hire. It is the same.
That's
shit,
nepotism. That's what nepotism is.
DEI
There's a big difference.
The
There's a difference between being hired because of your skin color, because of your race, because of your gender.
So then why are we not making the big deal about that? No one cries and complains about the nepotism that's going on in this country. But we want to cry and complain about
the. Of course we are. Everybody fucking talks about that.
No one does. No one cares.
Bullshit. Like that. I wish I had that little kid. A bullshit.
Like Cat Williams said. What? You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem, yo.
You know what? I'm gonna start being like Dr. Umar up in this bitch.
By the way, she has a PhD in fucking breakdancing.
Yeah, just because you got a PhD in breakdancing don't mean you should go out there and breakdance.
That lets me know that, like, listen, I just need to go to Australia and get some made up monkey shit fucking PhD and come back to the States and say, go to Berkeley and say, hire me. Go to MIT and say, fucking hire me.
And it's also her willing not to give up to it and admit it. Instead, she laughs. Dude, I want to see Kamala do a motherfucking press conference, please.
No, why?
And of course, people talk about nepotism. Why? Well,
listen, hold on. Why would I do that?
Say anything about
Yeah. Why would I do that? Listen, what is Kamala Harris? What is her trait? Before she was a politician, what was she?
A dick sucker who made it up.
She was a fucking lawyer, right?
Right.
So as a lawyer, right? Why am I finna go ahead? Lawyers know one thing. They know not to fucking talk. Lawyers advise all their clients, whether they're fucking.
Bro, are you serious right now?
Yeah,
all lawyers do is fucking talk.
You know when I'm gonna talk?
Have you ever been in court with a lawyer?
Yeah. Yes, I have.
Okay. So have I. On the criminal end,
you know what?
where
he's like, yo,
they motherfuckers talk.
Don't say shit. I got to.
Exactly. I had a fucking so when I had my cases, my lawyers talked, and then the prosecutors, which is what she was, they did a lot of talking.
No, but you're not understanding what I'm saying, right? Because what's happening right now? Everybody's gonna prosecute her in the court of public opinion, right? Everything that she says is gonna be prosecuted in the court of public opinion right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
you admit that she can't talk with the shit.
No, you didn't let me finish. So right now, instead of y'all prosecuting me right now in the court of public opinion and me opening my mouth, I am going to wait till the debate happens. So now I can sit across from somebody that I know I can run circles around in a debate.
You really think that's going to happen?
And then have y'all prosecute me.
You really think that she's going to run circles around Trump?
Yes.
You know what sucks? That no matter what Trump says or does during this next fucking debate, they're going to call him a racist and a sexist. That's all they're going to do. No matter what, any points that he comes up with.
No.
He's a
If Trump doesn't
racist.
stoop that low, no. If he does not bring race or sexism into it, we can't do that. But the moment he does try to bring that shit into it, he opened that can of worms.
What's going to happen is, he's going harder on her because it's a woman. If it was a man, he wouldn't be talking to her like that. That's the type of bullshit that I can already see is going to happen. Hunt is in fantasy land. Damn.
How am I in fantasy land? Because I'm stating facts. What am I in fantasy land about? Please tell me what I'm in fantasy land about.
Shots fired.
Once again, I can understand I'm in fantasy land to people that probably have one wrinkle on their brain. You know what I'm saying? But once again, let's talk about this honestly. If I am a person that knows the law, and once again, knows that everything that I say is going to be scrutinized, why would I tip my hand right now instead of bringing forth my evidence to prosecute against somebody face to face?
So here's the thing, Hunt. Why doesn't she do a press conference to let us know where her policies are? Why?
Once again, no, it's stupid.
Why no? Why is it stupid?
Because
why not let people know where you're standing? First of all, she got anointed the fucking the presidency or the candidate by not even fucking a democratic fucking
process
in a democratic way. You know what I'm saying? She didn't. Dude,
the electorals.
If there would have been, first of all, there hasn't even been a fucking official vote yet, right? Because they still got to go to the delegation or to the DNC next week, right? I'm gonna laugh my motherfucking ass off if motherfuckers be like, we nominate so and so instead of Kamala, huh?
It won't happen. So once again, I don't think that y'all are really understanding this. Everybody wants something right now, right now. You need to tell us. You need to tell this. Well, hold up. I can tell y'all, but me personally, if I was in that position, I would not be telling what's going on, right? I would be doing one thing right now. One, making it suspenseful. Two, I'm going to make my opponent just like she did. Because remember, Trump was like, you know what? I don't even think I'm going to have a debate. But what Trump did, because he is a narcissist, he's seen how her numbers were going. He was like, well, you know what? Fuck it. I said if I was going to do it, it'd be on Fox, but fuck it. I'll do it on ABC. So now what happened? Okay, cool. I already made him cave. He wanted to do it on Fox. Now we're doing it on ABC. So now what I'm going to have everybody do, right? Because everything is about ratings. I have a large platform. Now everybody's been wondering what my position is. Now in front of this large platform where thousands, millions of people are going to be watching live, and my words are not going to be misconstrued. Now I can tell you exactly what it is. Now I got your attention. You waited so long to hear what I have to say, right? Now you're invested to watching this whole debate the whole time because you were so invested into hearing everything I had to say. I kept you waiting. So now, right now, I get to prosecute my case against Trump, and now I got your attention to hear everything I got to say.
And you know what's funny about that, though, Hunt, that I find is it's more than likely going to backfire on her then, because she is not very good at ad-libbing. She's good at reading some scripted shit, but she's not good at ad-libbing. She is not a Barack Obama. Barack Obama, when I first saw that man in 2004 at the DNC, I was like, this motherfucker right here, huh?
Yeah. We knew when he introduced Kerry, we was like, yo.
Bro, when I saw him,
I feel about Hakeem Jeffries.
See, Hakeem, I feel you on that. I feel you. I just don't agree with the left's fucking agenda. That's the only thing. Look, I'm independent as fuck. I will vote for whoever I believe is guiding the country in the right place. The only part that I don't like about the Democratic candidates is that none of them go against the grain as far as the far left stupidities that they're passing. Like, for example, what happened in California. That alone right there.
Yeah, so I don't think there's an agenda. I do think that there are things that people need to stand up and say. Like,
we'll see in a minute. We'll be right here, Doc.
I don't think that a biological man should be going into a woman's bathroom, a girl's bathroom. I don't think that. And once again, I'm liberal as fuck. I'm left as shit, and I don't think that that's all right. There's nothing about that that's right. I
Right.
don't
But
want.
yet you're still voting for the party that agrees with that.
I don't think the whole party agrees with it.
Then
Just
how
like
come
you don't
nobody
think
is
that
speaking out against it? That's my issue. And it's like I always said, I
so
don't know.
in Hunt's in other words, Hunt agreed with the emotional drama BS the media feeds us. So which media are you talking about? Because if you're talking about the left media, I can understand that. But you're acting like when we're talking about emotional drama, the right media doesn't give us emotional drama as well. So for you to say
Right.
that, once again, I need you to clarify which
And
media.
just for full disclosure, Campos is a RFK Jr. supporter. So just to throw that out there. And he said all media.
RFK Jr., yeah. The fucking idiot that just confessed to a crime.
A crime? Really a crime? Is
Hey,
it really a
crime is
crime
crime,
though?
bro. Crime is crime.
Is it really a crime though?
It is. Crime is crime.
What was the crime?
Abandoning a fucking dead carcass. A crime is crime.
You never threw a dead dog out in the alley?
No, because I didn't have fucking dogs like that.
Oh, I ain't gonna say I did or didn't do any of that,
No,
but
dogs like
we
that.
may or may
No,
have not had
no.
dogs that
I think
passed away.
it's like no. If you say it's emotional abuse, it's not emotional abuse. What it is, it shows intelligence, right? Because everything that happens in the world is a fucking chess game. So if you're
I
worried
believe
about
in. Go ahead.
like everything is a fucking chess game, man. Every fucking thing is a chess game. If I'm looking at my opponent's move, I need to know what my next move is. I know my
Mm-hmm.
opponent is unhinged. My opponent craves media attention. My opponent
Mm-hmm.
is waiting for me to do this. Why am I going to feed into my opponent? Man, y'all better read the fucking the Art of War. Y'all want this
Well, it's not
motherfucker to
only
succeed.
that, but I think that those that support her are those that are in the middle. For example, they deserve to have a hear in where she stands. And honestly, like I said, my biggest fear is that she's gonna march to the beat of the drums of the fucking of the left and keep us in fucking Ukraine and keep us in fucking spending more money on shit that doesn't need to be spent on.
Israel.
So exactly, I'm with you on that, bro. I mean, you preaching to the choir here. So at least with Trump, we had some kind of foreign policy. With her, I don't even know where it stands.
You will in time. I tell you
Yeah.
what, the way I figure about it too is this. The way I think about it too is this, right? Because
Mhm.
you are very much an old school, or you're a very much old school army motherfucker, right?
Mhm.
Did
I
you have
guess
to
you could
know
say old
everything?
school from the 2004s on. Old
Yeah.
school.
So you're old school. So what do they always tell us? Listen, you don't need to know why. You just need to go out and draw fire. One of the
Mm.
main things that I remember from basic training was a quote: "Ours is not to reason why. Ours is but to do and die."
So, see, I was also one of those that when I
Oh,
talk
so
to my
you
soldiers,
Yeah, you're gonna be like these
w-
new soldiers. Why, drill sergeant? Why? Why? Why?
no,
Why? Why?
no,
And
that's not, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about as far as like when it came down to artillery. Why do we do this way? Okay, why do we do it this way? Because if we're off by a few mils, that round is going to land on your fucking boys and not on the target that it's intended to fall on. So, and
listen,
so, I mean, I'm not just a fucking need it from the neck down type person.
listen,
Now, if
listen.
you're E1 to E3, I just need you from the neck down.
Yeah.
E4 and above, you better start fucking learning some shit. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
how
and
I
guess
thought.
what? We right now are those E1s to E3s. Hey, listen,
Nah,
don't even
you
worry about
might
it.
be, not
Don't even
me.
worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Hey, we got this covered. You trying
Shit.
to?
What about
Hey,
having a discussion about what's right and wrong instead of talking about chess games and being in denial?
so we are
So,
talking. What the fuck?
yeah, we're just having a discussion right here
No,
about that.
no, no, no. We
Can you
are.
give an example, Campos? Like
Yeah.
an
So
example as far as what?
I get it that you don't understand my metaphors, Compost. I feel you. So what I will do is I will bring this down to a level that I think we all can we all will know. Are you familiar with
We're all
Uno?
13 Bravos, baby.
Are you familiar with the game of Uno?
You stupid. You're so fucking stupid.
Like, yo, what the fuck?
You,
Like, I can't help if you
you're-
don't understand my metaphors. And if you can't understand, like, listen, I use metaphors to get my point across a lot. To help people think about shit. I'm sorry. It's how I
okay,
used
so
to
here's the
structure my
thing.
sentences.
Here's the thing, Campos. He thinks Kamala's playing chess, but in reality, it's just checkers. You know,
I think she's playing chess, man.
she don't know she's about to get mated.
I
You
think that
know,
I think that Donald Trump is playing pinochle or whatever the fuck some people
shit,
like to say.
pinochle ain't an easy ass game to play. I'll
I
tell
don't
you
even know
that.
what the fuck pinochle is, man. I think he's fucking. I think he's playing solitaire at this moment. I just know that certain people like playing pinochle.
But it's a trip. Honestly, I support Trump, obviously, because I think that when somebody is after you that much and that badly, is because they know that you don't fear them,
Oh, like
and the powers that be,
right,
don't like them, huh?
like the right is after the left so bad in their woke agendas.
Here's the thing that though Trump really ain't a Republican.
No shit.
You know what I'm saying? And I think everybody knows that the only reason he's on that ticket is because there's only
idiots.
two parties that we can vote for.
Because Republicans are fucking mindless idiots. All you have to do is say 9/11.
You can say the same thing
America
about Democrats, though, huh?
The flag,
You
yes.
can say the same thing. You can
God,
say the same thing about Democrats. You can say the same thing about Democrats who blindly follow these idiots like fucking Gavin Newsom, like AOC,
whoa,
like
hey,
fucking
hey.
yeah.
Talk about my baby.
Look,
like
she
that.
might have a booty, but she got ugly toes. So, anyways,
talk about my baby like that. That's my baby.
She smelled like fucking wet pussy hair pissed on by cats.
Yeah, that's like like I said yesterday morning. Somebody came 5 o'clock in the morning. You smell like fucking cat piss. What the fuck going on?
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem.
I don't know. I just think like anybody who follows blindly on partisan lines is fucking just blatantly stupid.
You know what's crazy? I shit you not. There's a lot of if you actually sit down and talk to a lot of people, like I've talked to a lot of people that are on the left, obviously, right? That's normally who my demographic is.
Right.
A lot of people on the left do not agree with a lot of shit that goes on. Like y'all like I don't think y'all understand this. Like I understand that there's people on the right that don't agree with everything that Trump says, right? They don't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think there's a lot of people on the left too that don't agree with this. Like there's a lot of people that are left that they don't agree with the so-called LGBTQ agenda.
The alphabet kid.
They don't agree with that. Like I said, man, listen. I think everybody should live their own lives.
Amen.
Live how you want to live. If you're an adult, live how you want to live. Okay. If you think that it is wrong to push a certain man-woman narrative on people, right? Then you have to surely think that it's wrong to push a woman-woman, man-man narrative on people, right? If you think that it's okay for you to show public displays of affection if it's toward a man or a woman, you can't get mad when a man or a woman shows those same affections to each other, right? Okay. You can't. You have no leg to stand on. Right. Plain and simple. That's why I say, listen, if you are a grown person and you want to love who you want to love, man, do that shit. I don't give a damn. 100%. Ain't got shit to do with me. I don't agree what happened with the parade where there were people in pools pissing on people in front of kids. I blame the people that were doing that, and I blame the parents. The parents knew that shit was going to happen at the parade, and those people knew that they were going to do that, and there were going to be kids there. So I blame the parents and the people.
Let me ask you, how do you feel about parents who support that shit, though?
No matter who. And I will be voting blue no matter who in November, up and down the ballot.
So, I mean, what about the parents that follow that shit?
I think, well, here's the deal. I don't think that like those parents should force kids to do any kind of sterilization, any kind of hormone things or nothing like that. Right? I can't judge somebody for what they do in their house. Right. I think that it should not be legal for parents to allow their kids to get anything done to their bodies. Right? Because that is still a child. That child can't vote. Closed-minded. I guess, bro. But anyway, back to a wrinkled brain conversation. I don't think because that child cannot vote, that child can't buy a pack of cigarettes, right? Because they're not an adult. I don't
Right.
think that the parents should be making decisions about that child's body. So if I was closed-minded, right, and I told you that I'm a leftist, I wouldn't have these fucking opinions now, would I, Campos? I would not be saying that, like, I don't think that it's right that this should be happening to a child, right? Because the left always is like, no, let this happen, that happen. No, I don't think that it should be happening to a child. I got it. If the parents want to have that should be discussed with the parents and that child. And then they should be like, hey, guess what, man? When you're 18, you have the freedom and bodily autonomy to do whatever the fuck it is you want to do. I can't stop you. The state can't stop you. Nothing can stop you once you're 18 from doing the things you're doing. But until then, I'm not giving you hormone blockers. I'm not giving you re-gender assignment. None of that shit, reaffirming care. No. You can do that shit when you're 18 and an adult.
How do you feel about the policies that they're pushing in California, saying that not doing so is abusive to the child?
Yeah, Gavin Newsom.
And the government can take your child away because that's child abuse.
Gavin Newsom is a fucking idiot because there's more cases of child abuse where we have these heterosexual couples and households that is real child abuse and child neglect than something like that. And that's what they should be worrying about, is those cases instead of that shit right there. Because if they would, Alien Gonzalez would still be alive. Not Alien Gonzalez, but that was Florida. But you know the one that happened in California where they, like, it was the mom and the stepdad beat the living shit out that little boy and he wound up dying.
I didn't want to talk about that one.
Yeah, I didn't watch the documentary. I know about it. But if they watched shit like that and they understood shit like that and stop worrying about, well, if you don't affirm your kids, that's child abuse. When teachers complain about child abuse from that child in that heterosexual household, and they let that shit go, that little boy would have been alive today. So y'all worrying about fucking things.
I don't give a shit about heterosexual, homosexual households. To me, abuse is fucking abuse. I'm sorry.
Instead of who. I think you meant how instead of who.
Vote so blue, no matter who. That's closed-minded.
Yeah.
But no, whether they're heterosexual, homosexual, I don't care the household. But when you start allowing the government to start overreaching their fucking boundaries and telling you that not affirming your child's gender that they believe they are at the age of fucking 10 years old, yeah, you're overstepping. And again, it's all about setting precedent. You know what I mean? It's all little by little. No, yeah, we 100% on the same thing right there. But
I'm close-minded.
Genders like that. I think what he means, you're close-minded on it because vote blue no matter who.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And just like, I'm willing to listen. I would be willing to vote blue if they had a better candidate than Trump. And at this time, I just don't see one. I honestly don't.
Huh? And this is the problem, right? Because of the Trump effect, and until the Republican Party gets often under the Trump effect, you will not have a good candidate. But
I believe he is a good candidate. That's the thing, though. I believe he's a good candidate.
No, he's not. Because if he was a good candidate, you wouldn't have Republicans against Trump. If he was a good candidate, if he was what the Republican Party really was, you would not have Republicans against Trump, Republicans for Kamala. So he's not. What the fuck was his name? He was a governor. He was running in 2016. I can't remember his name, but he was a good candidate. He was one of the northern governors. A good candidate as a Republican who was a legit, actually Republican conservative, a wholeheartedly one. Who, if he ran against Clinton, I would really consider voting for him.
But see, the thing is that I think a lot of folks are voting based on their feelings and their emotions rather than policy. And that's where, a lot of people, and that's cool. I mean, that's your thing. You know what I'm saying? Me, I will go back to how my 401k looked really, really good during the Trump presidency. And if it hadn't been for the COVID and the idiotness that he did, he would have been reelected if it wouldn't have been for the Rona. If it wasn't for Rona, he would have been reelected. 100%, he would have been reelected. And then the way that the Democrat Party has done their candidates, I don't know how you can still even support them. Look what they did to Bernie. They fucking dogged Bernie out. Bernie had a better chance of winning than fucking Biden would have. Bernie had a way better chance of winning. You would have voted for Bernie.
Yeah.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah, no, wholeheartedly. I love Bernie, but I don't think that the majority of the left are, as far Democratic Socialists, is a Democratic Socialist, right? Because Bernie is a Democratic Socialist. I don't think that the left in general is that much on the socialist side. The left is not a Democratic Socialist. They're not. They're not. Bernie is a Democratic Socialist. AOC is a Democratic Socialist. You have, and I think this is where the problem is, because you have those Democratic Socialists, you have the leftists, and then you have the far left. Like, they're not.
Do me a favor. I gotta go take a piss. Do me a favor. Can you explain to the audience what is the difference between a Democrat and a Democrat Socialist? I'll be right back.
So, a Democratic Socialist, right? Those are the ones that, like, even though I fuck with Bernie, right? I love Bernie to death, right? A Democratic Socialist is going to be the ones that are the progressives that are not afraid to be like, hey, yeah, let's give money to these motherfuckers. Let's try to make shit more equal for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I understand how people feel about that. Everybody's going to say, oh, you know, you're just giving money out and no one's earning shit. And it gives the lack of incentives to people to work hard for shit. I got you, man. But that's the difference between being like a Che Guevara socialist / communist and a democratic communist, man. In my unlearned opinion, man, they just really want to give people safety nets. They want to increase the safety nets that people have. Because let's face it, man, everybody falls on hard times. Everybody falls on hard times, man. Y'all think that every single person out here homeless is homeless because they didn't work and they are bums and this, that, and the third? No, man, a lot of business owners are homeless, right? Because there's no safety nets for them, right? So they have their business is doing well, then all of a sudden, boom, that shit crashes, and their 401k is tied up into that. Everything is tied up in that business, and then the business crashed, and now they're forced to stay on the streets. So that's why I think that, like, you know, the Democratic Socialists want to have those certain safety nets and want to increase the safety nets. And we want to tax the rich and have the rich paying their fair shares. I talked to one of my friends today. He said the only two people, bro, listen, my level ain't for everybody. I got it, man. I got it. I think that you're on the kindergarten level and I can't help you. I'm sorry. Like, you may be on the JV level. I'm on the varsity level, bro. Like, it just happens, man. But black people want to fuck with me. Like,
So
these are
here's
people
the thing,
that know
though.
I got a smart mouth. But
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
I'll wrap this up real quick.
Go ahead. You
I
got
had
it.
a friend that told me this morning. He said, man, the only people in this country that can get away with shit are the poor people and the rich people. Because there are safety nets for the poor people and rich people. The middle class hurts the most. The middle class is the one that is the backbone of this country, but we suffer the most because we're too rich to be poor and we're too poor to be rich.
So I'll say this. What is the fair share?
For businesses? For like Amazon? For like Jeff Bezos?
What is fair share?
Bro, I don't think that, well, the fair share would be to get to the fair share, we definitely have to change the tax code. We would have to make it so they cannot do bullshit to minimize all their fucking losses. Well, minimize their taxes. Like, if I'm worth $600 billion, you mean to tell me that I can't pay $8 million in taxes a year?
So let me ask you, if you were a taxpayer, wouldn't you find whatever fucking tax hole loop that you can find to keep your money?
Bro, when we were in the Army, we could have found all type of loopholes, and I never did fucking find any loopholes.
Okay.
I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. Here are my taxes. I don't give a fuck. Pay them shits.
Okay. If you were, well, at the end of the year, when you have to file your taxes, you're gonna look for every way you can to keep every penny you earned.
No.
Yes, you will.
Why? Why would I do that when I understand, me personally, I understand that guess what? That shit that I'm paying in is going is drops in the bucket to everything that we need as a society, to everything that my fellow American needs. So if I care about this country, I care about my fellow man, why would I bitch and cry and complain about paying taxes? Right? I'm supposed to love my countrymen. So if I love my countrymen, I can pay taxes that's gonna go to help somebody when they fall on hard times. I don't love my countryman if I'm gonna try to, oh, I gotta weasel my way out. Because my countryman those truck drivers gotta drive on the roads. My tax dollars are paying for the infrastructure. So the truck drivers gotta drive on them roads to get goods and services to the rest of this country. So why can't I do that shit? To provide goods and services. My little contribution.
How much do we already not pay? First of all, don't think that we pay taxes for the roads already though?
We pay them to China.
That's why we pay fuel taxes as well.
We pay them tolls to China, bro, and that's why I refuse to fucking pay them. Catch me, motherfucker.
I don't use toll roads.
Yeah, hey, listen, that Hemi is burning that motherfucker up, chief.
I tell you, well, when you get those letters in the mail, saying, luckily, you know, I got the DV plates, so if I use a toll, I just tell them DV, and they
I take pictures of my shit.
But there are certain tolls that they're privatized, I guess, and you got to pay them. Fuck that.
By China.
I'll take the 35. I will take the 35. I will take the 281 all day, every day. You know what I'm saying?
They're privatized by China.
Exactly, dog. And you know what? It's a shame. Like China. Remember a couple years back having this conversation? I told you. I mean, we were discussing like what I would do in order to take over the U.S. How I would do it, and that would be by fucking by what's he say? No wonder why we played in the playground. You look at it that way, but others don't. That's the reality.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to convince others to or mad at other people because they don't look at things my way. It's my point of view.
The thing about taxes is, though, everybody tries to find a way to fucking not pay taxes. Everybody. You know, we pay. How much do we pay in tax already when we go shopping?
Well, that's the thing. It's stupid. Yeah, it's 8.25% every dollar here in Texas. Texas tax per dollar on goods and services is 8.2%, which is stupid. Like, I got that. Our paychecks get taxed, and then we get taxed again with the money that we have going to the store. It's stupid.
Why do people move to states like Texas, Tennessee, and Florida?
Because there's no state tax.
Bam. You know, and you don't think that's you want to pay more in taxes, go ahead and live in California. You know what I'm saying? To help your fellow man out there.
That's what my
what's the trip? Income tax. That's just fucking thievery. That is thievery. Yeah, I believe in fucking paying taxes when they're going to benefit the American populace, like you were saying. However, when it's tax dollars being used to be sent to Israel, to be sent to Ukraine, to be sent to other fucking nations, isn't that what fucking they have the UN for? To go help them out? Isn't that what NATO's for? To help them the fuck out? Why do we got to jump into that?
I think it's stupid that our money is going to different countries. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't care. The only thing that I do agree with is us sending not money, but the equipment. And I got it. So when we say we're sending $80 billion to Ukraine, we're not sending the note to Ukraine. We're sending $80 billion worth of equipment to Ukraine, right? So we're doing that. And I got that. What people are failing to realize is, like, some of the stuff that we're using is stuff that has to be refurbished anyway. Stuff that is sitting in our stockpiles, right?
These motherfuckers are getting 777s. They got 777s. It's not like we sent them 1908s. We sent them 777s.
Yeah, we could have sent them the 1908s.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying?
But at the same time, man, you got to think about what happened, man, during Desert Storm, man. They took the 8-inch, I believe it was the 8-inch tube, and made it that bunker buster. And they had weeks to do that shit, to come up with that shit. So for all I know, hey, listen, y'all want to use them 1908 tubes and create this huge super bunker buster.
But what about when we helped out the
What's up, Jeff?
Mujahideen? What happened when we helped out the Mujahideen? We gave them all these fucking arms, and what did they end up using them for when they turned into the Taliban?
The Mujahideen did turn into the Taliban because you got to remember that dude Legend. That dude Legend is still fighting with the Mujahideen. He's the new commander of them.
No, he's not. He's fighting with the NRF.
Okay. Well, hey, listen.
I'm telling you, I just watched that whole fucking documentary yesterday, and I'm in it to win it with them. And it's a trip to. I didn't even know that there was still a fucking a national what do they call it? The National Resistance Front that is fighting the Taliban government.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know,
I think it's
it is.
I think it's crazy that like the dude, his dad was a close ally of ours, and we're still like trying to shit on him right now. And it's like, bro, we might need this motherfucker. Like,
I love the fact that when he said that, you know, he had come here, he was given all these freedoms, all these rights, you know, and yet people want to take down statues of the forefathers that were here. They're not realizing the freedom that they have, you know, and that's 100%. This motherfucker's more patriotic than motherfuckers that were born here. You could nod your head all you want. Yeah, we can't change the motherfucking past. We can't. Yeah, George Washington had slaves. Yes, that's the way people thought at that time. Yes, unfortunately, slavery was something that we got to deal with. Yes. However, are we going to go around changing the whole fucking the whole country now?
That doesn't, just because you take down statues don't mean you're changing history. Once again, do you think Germans are better than us?
Okay, so what are we going to do now? Are we going to go ahead and fucking look, they own slaves. Got it. They own slaves. I got it. But okay, so we're going to tear down the statues because they own slaves.
So, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
let's tear down the Washington Monument as well then, right?
No, so when they're not taking down the statues that they're taking about that they wanted down, let's face it, they didn't give a fuck about Washington, and this is a narrative that Trump did. No, they wanted
I'm not even talking about Trump though.
Bro, the whole argument was Confederate statues being taken down. No one said shit about Jefferson, no one said shit about Washington. They said Confederate. Bro, no one's gonna do that. No one's gonna care. Even the fucking people on the left don't, dog. The left don't care about fucking
Washington. Did you not see what they did in Washington? Are you serious?
Bro, once again, everybody was like, no, the Confederate. My thing is the Confederate statues do need to be taken down. Right? Why the fuck are we honoring losers? That's number one. Number two, by having these statues up, you're telling me that the Germans are better than us. The Germans
if that's why you want to see it.
Yeah, the Germans realized that they had a ugly point in in their history. They're not saying we're not going to talk about the history. They're not saying we're not going to teach about it, because they still teach about it. They talk about it, but they're saying we will not erect any statues to commemorate.
You can't even talk about that shit in Germany, from my understanding.
Well, good. I think that we need to. I believe that we do need to teach it, right? We need to teach about what happened.
Yep. Agreed.
None of the founding fathers owned slaves. Does this motherfucker not realize that George Washington had slaves?
Not all. Not all.
Not all. What? Name one that didn't have slaves.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly. All them motherfuckers had slaves, bro. Listen, Campos, I need you to go read Madison's Hand, bro. And then come back and talk to me. Go read the book Madison's Hand. If you have a P.O. box, I will send you my copy of Madison's Hand. I'll even include footnotes. Okay? I'll include the footnotes.
All right, so it says Hamilton, John Adams.
Adams had slaves. Franklin had slaves. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is why we need to teach fucking more shit than what we tried to fucking teach. If people honestly knew, and I'm telling you, get real historians to teach this shit and not water down shit. Like, for instance, everybody knows George Washington had dentures, right?
Yeah.
What was one of the lies that I don't know if they told y'all this lie in school. They told us that his dentures were made of wood.
Yeah, I don't think that was real. They were made like of horse teeth or dead people's teeth, weren't they?
They were made, some were, and this is the thing, some were made from horses, and some historically were made from his slaves. They pulled the teeth from his slaves to form his dentures. So why not talk about this stuff in class? Why not talk about like the concentration camps that we had in the 1940s in America?
Mm-hmm.
For the
I believe they do talk about it.
for the I work a lot and I'm no fun people, you know what I'm saying?
And I think we're gonna get canceled for that shit right there. Slavery goes all the way back to the Egyptian history over 4,000 years ago, but they only teach
and
that
because
here.
we teach it, we're not saying that you have to kiss my ass about this shit. No, hey, listen, man, this is what really happened in the country. It happened. So now that we acknowledge it happens, we still can acknowledge that there has been progression that happened. So we teach about the ugly side, right? And then we teach about the progression that's happened from that ugly side. We can do both, right? We can walk and chew at the same time.
I would hope so. I would hope so. I would really hope so. But unfortunately, there's still those out there who
Jeffrey, I got it. But you know what I'm saying? We don't live in Egypt. We live in America. So I don't care about Egyptian history. I don't care about fucking Spain. I don't care about some portions of Spain history. I don't care about fucking, no offense, I damn sure don't care about Guatemalan history. All right? Fuck them motherfuckers, little short bastards. But fucking. I care about American history.
Shots fired. Guatemala.
I care about American history, man.
Well, I mean, staying on that topic, on American history, yeah, slavery should be talked about. The problem is when it becomes something like people should feel guilty about it.
I don't think that should
You know
happen.
what I'm saying?
I don't think that any white kid today should feel guilty about fucking slavery. I think that Americans should know the ugly truth about slavery. I think we don't know it.
Bro, I learned about slavery when I was in elementary school.
So when they taught you about slavery, what all did they teach you about?
How they were brought from West Africa and sold in America, and they were out there picking cotton, and they were out there treated very badly and whipped, and then there were pictures, and then there was a war, and then they were freed.
That's the sum of it. Hey, listen, yeah, this happened. It was bad. It was free. But there's other things that happen too that our kids don't know about. Like, who knows about? I want to say Robert is somebody's rebellion. Who knows about? Let me ask you this fair question to everybody, right? And when we talk about this period of time, who knows who John Brown was? So when we talk about like people shouldn't feel ashamed, if we teach them about people like John Brown, white people won't feel ashamed.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not even teaching. We're not teaching them about things like that. We can teach about the rebellions that happened because there was more than Nat Turner's rebellion that happens. When did you learn about Nat Turner's rebellion? There were actually over 200 different rebellions before slavery ended.
But see, the thing about that is, and here's my thing about that. That would have to be its own chapter, its own fucking study time for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we're studying American history, we're studying a brief history of the U.S. All right, the beginning, the middle, and where we're at. Now, if you want to dive deeper into certain topics, then that has to be a whole different, just a course for that. You know what I mean? Because it would be shameful to start on something and not go all the way deep into it. Like, if you're going to talk about one rebellion, you got to talk about all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like you're saying right now. So that would have to be a whole other course of study. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think we have to go.
Unfortunately, in schools right now, we don't have enough time to even fucking teach them math and fucking English. You know, so I mean,
I think
that's
it
just
is
my
what we
point.
want to paint. We just want to paint a certain narrative. I think we gloss over and be like, yeah, it was bad. And then we
It
paint
was
narratives.
so.
It was. I'm not saying, yes, slavery was horrible. But we want to
Mhm.
paint a narrative like we're just these shining, righteous people, and we're not. It's okay to be like, no, man, we have a horrible fucking history. It's okay to teach about, even if we don't teach the whole parts of slavery we need to, right?
Right.
We don't teach about Reconstruction. Reconstruction is something that happened.
Yeah. The opinion is acceptable to master. I
This is
don't
who I
get
think
that
it
one.
is. This is
I
who I think it is.
I think it might be.
Yeah, everything is acceptable to master. Meanwhile, everybody
So,
bows
but
down and prays to the fucking orange god. You have fucking idiots getting this fucking orange god's name tattooed across their foreheads, right? And keep
now,
in
are
mind,
there really people doing that though?
yes, the lady did it. And
Okay.
and then on top of that, we can look back to what happened a few years ago where they had this golden little statue of Trump, right? You want to talk about master? Like, this is why I don't take anybody. This is why I have a hard time taking a lot of hardcore MAGA people serious. One, you have this shit on your fucking head. Now, how can you be a Christian? You have this shit on your fucking head. It's ridiculous. Then you have a gold little statue of Trump right outside of CPAC or whatever. Like, it's a graven image of somebody. You're going
So
against Exodus chapter 20, verse 3.
so hold up. Before we continue, he's definitely right on that right there. There's crazies on both sides. And that's one thing that I mean, I've been trying to preach for a while. The lunatics are on both ends of the fucking spectrum. You know, all the way on the far left, you have your AOCs, your fucking Rashida Tlaibs, your fucking Somalian broad, and then you know you have your fucking Margaret Green dumb bitch, whatever her name is, and your
Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is
yeah,
fucking
her. And that
bad
other
Bill
dumb
Bush
cunt.
body.
What's that other dumb cunt? That one that got caught giving sucky
Lauren
sucky.
Boebert. Lauren
Her.
Boebert.
There you go.
Her. You have fucking Jim Jordan. Like, Jim Jordan. Like, come on, man. Come the fuck on.
So it's on both sides of the
Hey,
spectrum.
don't worry about
And
it. My side, hey, Kamala Harris will be your president, and then Overlord Harris will be running this country. Here's the deal. Overlord Harris could run this country into the ground for all I give a fuck. As long as that fucking orange piece of shit wanting to shit my pants fucking piece of shit is not the fucking president, I don't give a fuck. Kamala, if you win in November and this country burns the fuck down to ashes, we are the greatest people on earth. We can rebuild. We kept that
you're
fucking
saying,
orange piece of shit
so
out.
you're saying that your emotions towards this man are so much that you would rather our economy take a shit. We could go to World War III. You would rather that than have a second presidency of Trump. Do you not see how emotional that is?
Yes.
That's emotional as shit. That is emotional.
Hey, on live
because
right
you know what
now,
I said? You know what's
on
funny
live
is
right now
I've
in front of everybody that's listening. Like, I don't care.
But here's the thing, hon. You know what I've said? Here's what I've said. If Trump loses and Kamala wins, I hope she does the best for this country. I hope.
Me too.
That's what I hope. However, I'm not here saying like, fuck. I hope that we fucking enter World War III. You know,
if it happens,
that's what
I don't care. Fuck it. 2 tears in the bucket.
Yeah, you don't care, but the rest of us do. You see what I'm saying?
Hey,
so
I can't help the rest of y'all. I can't help the rest of y'all, man. I'm worried about
man, you need a troll hat. That's what you need right now.
You know what? I got an idea.
Oh, here we go.
One of those old school trolls on it. You know, the one with the fucking weird hair?
Yeah. Oh, she'll bury the country. See,
no, go back to what Campo said, because this is Campos. I'm telling you, hold up. Go back to what Campo said. If you don't care, then why say anything? Because last time that I checked, I live in fucking America, and I have the right to say what the fuck I want to say. And if you don't want to hear what the fuck I want to say, tough titty said the kitty. No one's asking you to be here.
I appreciate the
Well, I
support.
got
Hit
it.
that like button.
Lopez here.
No, I'm just fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you. No, we all know. We all
I'm gonna
know.
say what I want to say. If you don't
Exactly.
like what I
We
have
all
to say,
know.
then too bad. Like,
We all
no one's
know.
asking you why you say the stupid shit you say. Never once did I ask you today why you saying the stupid shit you say. Because
All I'm saying is we all know that the gun line is everybody open to say whatever y'all want. There's no hate. Y'all do what y'all do.
No, I don't care.
I am
like,
not
once
censoring
again, I'm
anyone.
not telling nobody that, like, why are you saying this? Like, bro, say what you want to say. Like, you live in America. I have no right to tell you not to say something. Right? I have no right to even say you shouldn't say that. Say what the fuck you want to say. You're an American. You deployed one time, to my knowledge, in defense of this country. Say what the fuck you want to say. I would never tell anybody that deployed, especially anybody deployed, why are you saying this? Motherfucker, you said it. One, you're an American. Two, you had the balls to fight for the right to say what the fuck you want to say. So if you don't like that shit, bro, I don't know what to tell you other than, hey, you can throat hug my meat.
Still is. And Vincent said, I have the freedom to say how stupid your shit is. You're correct.
Yeah, and I don't give a fuck. But don't ever try to tell me, like, try to censor me.
Nah,
listen,
we don't.
I got it, man. Listen, I don't care. Listen, you and I know who I think the other guy is. Y'all can say I'm being emotional, but like, no, don't get mad because I tell you how I feel. How I feel is not being emotional. You know what I'm saying? What you want me to do? Say something nice to y'all? Fuck no. Like y'all have known me for years.
Facts.
Like it's my opinion. If you don't like my opinion, I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, Lopez, back to the wrinkle brain conversation.
So yeah, I see what you're saying. It took me a while when you first said wrinkles in the brain. I was like, okay, now I get what you're saying.
Yeah, no smooth brain conversation from here on out.
He said, I never said you can't say it. So
Lopez, you were
back to the conversation at hand. Let's see.
So I'm gonna let him understand.
Understand from a young G's perspective. Before I dig a bitch, I gotta find a contraceptive.
You never know she could be
earning her, man, and learning her, man, and at the same time burning her, man. And if she burn it, I'm chill for a minute. Ain't no pussy good enough for me. Well, now I'm offended. And that's realer than real deal Holyfield. And now you hookers and hoes know how I feel.
No. Fuck Mike Steele. Fuck that dude.
Who is Mike Steele?
Who?
Mike Jones.
Who?
Mike Jones.
Mike Steele was a captain in the Ranger bat when Black Hawk Down happened, and he was the colonel of the Rocket Sons right when I was leaving Campbell. And like I said, man, he was giving out K bars for like confirm, He's like, you got to confirm. Here's a K bar.
Hell yeah. That's a motivational motherfucker right there. That's a motivational motherfucker. Hey, you know what? Now that we're talking about stuff like that, like people who go out and motivate others in that sense, how would you feel if let's talk about a little bit about prison reform, if you don't mind? Yeah, I want to go into the youth. Huh?
I'm all for it.
In which ways, like, would we be able to reform the prisons? Like, what ways do you see it
perfect
could be done?
One, because for whatever reason we don't have them in schools. If we're looking at prison reform and getting these people back into the population and paying their fair share in taxes and being a productive citizen, right? Put trades in the prison system. Let these people do their time, pay their debt to society, whatever it is, and let them come away with a trade coming out of prison, so therefore they can work. When we talk about this stuff, I think that, like, if it's not a violent crime, I do believe if it's a non-violent crime, say it's like a misdemeanor, like it's a felony possession, right, of a controlled substance. I believe that, they do their time. We put these things into the system so they can get these certifications when they come out and be a contributive member to society. Go ahead and let them have a weapon. Now, I think it definitely should be registered. And I know that's kind of, that's slippery slope. But I think they should have a weapon. I think that they should vote. But the main thing that I think that should happen is that We have to put trades in prisons. If we're not going to put them in schools, put them in prisons. So that way, these people aren't being leeches to society. They can be
Mm-hmm.
contributing members to society. They have a trade that they can use when they get out. I also believe, like, if we know that you have a year left, right? So you can do whatever kind of work. You have a year left, and you know you're coming home. That's when you start the
Right.
program, depending on how long it's going to take. So you start that program so they can have that certification on their way out. So now they can get a job. They can be a productive member of society. I mean, it's too easy.
So as far as prison reform, I think that it is punishment, but at the same time, I agree with you on that vision. It's punishment, but at the same time, it should be also um, rehabilitation. You know what I'm saying? Because just by putting somebody in a cell, that's not doing any kind of rehabilitation. You know what I mean? So they're paying for their crimes while they're locked up. However, that means in order to become a productive member in society, they need some sort of skill set.
And
You know what I
counseling.
mean? And dude, I'll tell you something about like California. They used to just be called the CDC, California Department of Corrections. Now it's the CDCR, which is the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. And that's what it needs to be. They need to be, I think there needs to be going back to all the way to the juvenile hall. Because right now what they have going is a fucking revolving door of people that do crimes and come back in, do crimes, come back in. As a felon myself, it's difficult for me to find a fucking job.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure
It's
it'd be the same
difficult
way with a
for me,
house.
you know.
Well, if you would live in
So
an apartment, you have your house, but if you had to live in an apartment, it would pretty much be the same way. No one is
have you
saying that people
seen?
shouldn't pay for their crimes.
Mm-hmm,
Everybody has to pay for their crimes. But
mm-hmm.
once you have paid your debt to society and your crime, what are we doing? Because if we don't give you a way to be a productive member of society, you're going to be a burden on society. You're going to turn back to the same bullshit that led you there in the first place.
So I got something on. I don't think that prison is in any way um easy for anyone. Now, I never did state time. I did county time in LA County. And I'll say this: anytime you get locked up, it's not a fun time. It's not a fucking Disney ride. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit difficult to take it as a joke. You know what I mean? Um, just because they show, like some prisons are like hotels, they're not. I mean, depending on where you go, your experiences may be different. So, all right, let's see. Compared to a standard Russian prison, ours is a vacation. But again, here's the thing about prison, though. Shouldn't we be putting them on there to learn? You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't they be in there to learn from what they did? And just locking them up, putting them in a cell, I don't think is gonna help them in any way to reform. You know what I mean? So I just think that it be people being locked up. They need to. So here's the thing: explain to me how putting a person in prison for, let's pick a crime, for let's say shoplifting. You know what? Let's say they're going to prison. They went in there for they aren't going to reform anyway. How do you know that though? That's the thing though. So how do you know they're not going to be reformed? I mean, they haven't been given the opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
My bad,
If
bro.
they're not given the opportunity to reform, then you're taking away the opportunity for them to reform.
Yeah, I mean, well,
So check this out. So check this out, Vision. I listened to a cat named Dubs on here on YouTube. Look him up. It's Dubs. He spent 24 years in the system for murder, and he spent 24 years for murder, and because of some laws that passed in California for the anti-recidivism, he was able to come back into society. So he paroled about 7 or 8 years ago, and he's now a productive member of society. His crime occurred at 19. He spent 24 years. He just got out a couple of years back. And, listening to him and how the prison system was and how it's changing, I think it would show that they do want to reform. And if given the opportunity, they will come back out and be better.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Bro, that's why I said, what are we doing to reform them while they're there? Like, what incentives are really going on there to reform these people? What counseling are they doing? Like, once again, we're spending all this money, all these resources on different shit. How about we do something to the Department of Corrections, to all departments of corrections? Hey guys, we're gonna the gang mentality that we have, because we can say the gang mentality, and when we talk about gangs, I'm just not talking about like Bloods, Crips, and nothing like that, bro. There's still the ABs in there and all them other weird motherfuckers. So what rehabilitation are we really doing in prison other than having motherfuckers sit there in cages and then come up with clever ways to fuck the system over, clever ways to get high, clever ways to rig their lights in their room, to charge their cell phones and all this shit and the third. What programs, what is the rehabilitation going on there?
But see,
so when we talk about that, one last thing. So now when we talk about that, you're talking about, the statistics are saying that they're going to get out and do crimes. Okay, but what are we doing to rehabilitate them while they're in there so we can bring those statistics down?
So the thing about punishment, I do believe there should be punishment. Being locked up behind bars is punishment. Your freedom being taken away is punishment. Now, I mean, most people who serve in prison time will repeat once released. Why is that though? And that's the thing. Why do they repeat? Why are they repeat offenders? Because as soon as they have a fucking felony charge, that's it. You know how hard it is to get a job? And you're going to tell me, people can't be all high and righteous, making it seem like they've never fucked up and stepped on their toes. You know what I'm saying? I'm a perfect fucking example right here. When I was fucking 19, I got busted for strong arm robbery. All right. Luckily, I was able to plea bargain that shit down to felony grand theft. But I had a big ass felony on my jacket. All right. So again, I didn't do state time. I did county time. But guess what? You know how difficult it was to find a fucking job? Because it said, have you ever been convicted of a felony? Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you could be president.
Exactly. Hey, Trump is a felon and he's going to be president. That's what he said.
34.
Yeah. In a few months. I'm with you on that one. Hey, Vision, I'm with you on that one. But here's the thing, on the real side, being locked up, one of the things that we need to do, first of all, is decriminalize fucking drug usage. Some marijuana specifically.
Cocaine, no. Huh? Heroin, no. Heroin,
no. The usage of it or the sale of it? Which one are you talking about? I'm talking about both users. Okay,
drug users? I'm talking about cocaine and fucking heroin.
Because, but here, it's an addiction, though. It's an addiction. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather criminalize the one that's slanging the shit than the one that's using it. Now, those that are using it, so yes, the seller. I'm talking about the user. The user needs to be put in some kind of a program, again, to rehabilitate them, because unfortunately addiction is a bitch. Look, man,
who you telling?
How many times do you have to fucking feel like you got to bust a nut and you got to go rub one out? Now, imagine they tell you can't rub one out and it's an addiction, homie. You're going to go do that shit. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So, victimless crimes. Okay, victimless crimes. Perfect. So let's talk about crime.
I don't want to hear shit about no fucking victimless crimes. Crime is crime. You talking about being tough on punishment. Somebody did this shit. I don't give a fuck if it's victimless or not. It's against the fucking law. They broke the fucking law. I don't care if nobody got fucking hurt. It was a fucking crime. They got to do the fuck. They got to get punished for it.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Crime is crime. Crime is crime. Now let's go. You want to talk about the Trump crimes? Those are fucking fictitious crimes that were brought out. That was just a fucking puppet government that is turning this into a banana republic. He's just using the motherfucking the government to go after a political fucking rival. That's all that was. So
Yeah.
That's
Anyway,
all that
once
was.
again, I don't give a fuck. Victimless crime. What is it? Keyword is crime.
Yeah, to me, I agree with you. Crime is crime. You know, whether you steal $1 or you steal $1 million,
You
to
stole.
me, the time should be the same.
You stole. You
Huh?
broke the law.
Okay, we agree on that. So, where were we going with this? Rehabilitation. Back to rehabilitation and prison reform. Jen Psaki that shit. So back to prison reform. Non-violent crime. I agree. Non-violent crimes, you know, DUIs.
Well, it's not that it's non-violent because it has the potential to be violent. It has the potential to take somebody's life.
Okay, but we don't arrest people on the potential of fucking crimes. All right, this is not the fucking movie with fucking the miniature guy. Yeah, we can't arrest people for what might have happened, because if that's the fucking case, a lot of us will be in jail just for what we think. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think so. You say like I don't think it's still a crime if the law says so. Right now, y'all have seen that I have enjoyed a nice. This episode is brought to you by
Dos Equis.
Hey,
Dos Equis, shout out if you want to sponsor this.
I wish that, man, it'd be dope if they would. But fucking, if I hop in my car right now, and for the last 2 hours, y'all have seen me just tossing these bitches back, and I get busted, that's my fault. Like, it's a crime because it is a crime to drink and drive.
Right. Well, okay, let's talk about that. In Texas, if you have your keys in the vehicle, you're not driving, but you're under the influence, you're busted for DUI.
Yeah, and it's crazy, man. And they actually, so at one point, they had to change it because people had the key fob. So there's like, oh, if the key's in the ignition, then, you know, you still get busted. Then they changed it because, you know, people had the key fob, and it was like, nah. Right. So, like, I'm not going to lie, right? Listen, people. If y'all are that way and you need to fucking stop and rest somewhere for the night, put the motherfuckers in the tank, and the little thing where the tank is in. So that way, those keys are not in the car. They can't bust you for fucking no kind of bullshit. They did not see you drive that vehicle to where it's at or anything, and your keys are not in your car. They can't get you for no kind of fucking traffic violations. You are in a parking lot. The most they can get you for is public intox.
Still, why? I mean, who are they to say who's intoxicated?
Well, they're going to say that once they smell some shit on your breath, and they'll be like, well, hey, hold on. Let me go ahead and give you this test.
So, but what law am I breaking if I'm walking around drunk, but I'm not bothering nobody? I'm minding my own fucking business.
I guess they're going to have to look for probable cause. And here's the deal too, right? And this is something that, since we're kind of talking about prison reform and law real quick, I want everybody to know this real quick. If anybody ever pulls you over, a cop pulls you over, and they say, do we have permission to search your vehicle? The answer should always be no. Plain and simple. One, it does violate the Fourth Amendment, but they cannot search your vehicle like that without probable cause. So if they search your vehicle anyway and there's no probable cause, they have broken the law. Now, if they say that they're going to conduct a vehicle inspection, that is a little bit different. So vehicle inspections are actually authorized and they're lawful, but searches are not lawful. And I learned this by the SRS show because of what happened with somebody that it was a SEAL candidate that lost their lives, and they got into this whole big thing because of the phrasing inspection and search. So just remember that, y'all. They cannot search your vehicle without probable cause.
Now, is that the one you were telling me about the difference to look at? I mean, is that the one you were telling me to look up about that the PEDs?
Yeah, with the PED thing.
Yeah, I got to check
because they said they wanted to search the vehicle instead of inspect it. That was the gray area that kind of fucked people up.
About 80% of our laws should not be laws. It's all money grab. Our government doesn't care about us, only our money. 100% agree with you on that. 100% agree with you on that. I mean, shit. Can we go back to a barter system? I'd be happy with that. You know what I'm saying? Look at how much the cost of living is out there right now, where you can make $60,000 a year and still be struggling.
Bro, back in the 80s and 90s, that is ridiculous to think somebody making $60,000 a year, and they would be like, "Yo, you'd be like higher middle class for sure, damn near upper class,
bro."
you know?
When my dad bought the house in LA back in 1983, 84, that house was $63,000. When they sold that house in 2005, it was sold for over $250,000.
God damn.
Now, hold on. This is 2005. That house right now is worth about maybe 400.
What the
out
fuck?
there in the ghetto in South Central Los Angeles. All right. That's why I live in Texas. That's why I live in San Antonio, where $275,000 or whatever the fuck I paid for this house got me in the suburbs in a nice neighborhood where not many black or brown are, where my school's around the corner, and a beautiful neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And that was what I paid for this house would not get me a fucking 2-room shack in fucking South Central LA.
Bro, that's why I'm moving to fucking Thailand.
Man, you've been wolfing that for a hot minute.
For a year
Deluxe
now.
apartment in the sky. Bro, that's why I love Texas. I will never leave Texas. I love California. California is the most beautiful state there is in the fucking continuous 48.
In the lower 48? No, fucking Texas,
yeah,
bro.
You out your mind. The only thing beautiful about Texas is 2A and freedom. I was driving back down, man.
I was
driving back
2A.
down. Huh?
I don't believe in the 2A.
Okay, now I know you trolling like a motherfucker. Now I know you trolling.
I know you had one too many. This episode is sponsored by.
I love Cali, but I will never go back over there specifically because of the motherfucking of the laws.
Once again, I don't agree with Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is a fucking idiot. Hands down. No one will ever hear me say, hey, listen, let me borrow $1, Doc K. You got it. You got it. But no, Gavin Newsom is a fucking idiot.
Damn,
some of the things that California
what my
is doing,
fucking credit score is.
Yeah. What is that? Is that a credit score or how much your house is worth?
That's what I'm saying. That's my credit score right there.
But no, I don't agree with it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Liberal. I don't agree with all liberal policies. They're stupid. A lot of them are stupid. They're nonsensical. Just like, for instance, when we talked about the whole, pushing this agenda. I don't like the fact that they want to push hey, listen, the school can let you do this, that, and the third, and we can report this, that, and the third. I don't like that. Right? We both agreed on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the fact that Louisiana and Oklahoma are pushing this Christian narrative on people. I don't like how the fucking 10 Commandments has to be up in every fucking classroom in Louisiana. I don't like how they got to start teaching about the Bible in Oklahoma. I don't like that. Because once again, if I can say that there's certain things that liberals are doing to try to indoctrinate children, then why can't it be the same thing for y'all trying to indoctrinate children into a Christian idea and narrative? Why do you have to preach this stuff to kids?
All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about that. The 10 Commandments. Is that just Christian?
So the 10 Commandments that they teach those are the tenets that those are the main tenets of the Old Testament, right? Mm-hmm. That's the ones that Moses came down from Mount Zion.
So is it just Christian?
Yes. The Muslims don't teach the 10 Commandments, dude. People that practice Hinduism doesn't teach 10 Commandments. Like I said, I am one of the worst.
The Old Testament is what?
Ifa. It's Christianity.
It's the Old
Testament.
It's the Old Testament, which is the laws, which is basically the Torah.
Those are the Mosaic laws. That's the Old Testament is the Old Testament is nothing but Mosaic laws. But listen, I'm like I said, I'm one of the worst practitioners of Ifa that you will ever see in your life. Right? One of the worst practitioners. Do I think that the schools and kids should learn about Ifa? No. I think that should be a decision that once you're grown and you're ready to make that journey, if you want to learn about it, learn about it. Our Christian was never founded on Christian values. There are so many cases where these so-called founding fathers that everybody loves, where they've even said so themselves that this is not a Christian nation. How can this be a Christian nation when everybody left England to have freedom of religion, not freedom to have one certain religion? It makes no sense. So either you believe the founding fathers, you love the founding fathers, or you just believe in madeupmonkeyshit.com.
So I believe the separation of church and state is basically the state is not going to be run by a religion, kind of like how the Arab states are, the Islamic states are, that they have that Sharia law, right?
That's
Now,
what
let
Christians
me
want
tell
to
you
do.
something about the hold on, I just want to say something. As far as the Ten Commandments go, um, I would say take out the anything that has to do with God in it, which would be like the idol worshiping. You could take that out of there because the rest of it is just basic rules of being a good citizen, a good person. Don't kill, don't steal, don't fucking cheat,
What
don't
if I want to?
be greedy, huh?
What if I want to? Don't be greedy. Fucking America's ran on fucking greed.
Hey, America is the only people that want to be
God is in all of our
America.
documents and even our money. But what God? Who's God? It didn't give a specific God, did it? And if it did, what is this specific God's name? So the specific God's name is not there; it just says God. And this is something that I'm gonna let y'all know. And Lopez knows about this, right? Hey, to be initiated, all you got to believe is in a higher power. To be initiated, all you got to believe is in a higher power.
Well, first they got to know what we're talking about by being initiated. So, hey,
Yeah.
first you got to, knock. Hey, what is it? Seeking you shall find.
Who the fuck
Till
that
that Tyler
door?
comes out. Yeah, exactly. Till the Tyler be coming out.
Thanks for coming out.
Oh man, you can say we weren't founded on Christian values, but here we are. So I get
Okay, so
what you're saying.
we're
So I
not
get what
founded
he's
on Christian
saying, though.
values.
There were Christian values that were invoked, as far as like in our society. All right, like the Quakers and all them. The motherfuckers that came over here, they were fleeing the goddamn, the old English bullshit that was happening out that way.
Old
But
English?
here's the
No,
thing.
I don't drink that shit. That shit is horrible.
So Old English was good back in the day. I'm an old motherfucker though. But no, here's the thing. Should religion be taught in school? No.
No.
Absolutely not. No, it shouldn't. But now should somebody have the freedom to pray if they want? Sure.
Yeah. Pray to who you want to pray.
Nobody's stopping them from doing that, I believe. I don't go ahead.
So when we talk about this once again, so when we talk about this, we're on a slippery slope. Because now, what if I'm Muslim? I'm not. Nothing wrong with it. But what if I'm Muslim and I want shit done here? But because, hey, no, this has to be Christianity, we're discriminating. What if I am Jewish and I want, their version of what happened to be taught? What if I am Hindu and I want Hinduism to be taught? What if I'm a Buddhist?
But let me ask you, Hunt, is this something that's because the way you sounded right now, you were saying it was at the state level, as far as like in Oklahoma, they're doing that. In Louisiana, they're doing that. Well, I mean, if it's a state issue, then the state can vote on it. And it's not a federal law; it's a state issue, right?
Look at what you just said, church and state. And I believe it was Doc K that just said this too: the separation of church and state, not church and government. So we all understand there needs to be the separation.
But the separation of church and state, my understanding of it is that it has to do with the government not being a state republic. In other words, like it won't be governed by the church. The government won't be run by the church. It's the separation of the church and state.
Are you willing to see anything? Because once again, they're teaching. Let's take Oklahoma, for example. They're teaching about Christianity. They're about to start teaching about Christianity.
Okay.
What if I want them to start? What if I do something and sue the state because they're not teaching Satanism?
Well, then that's your right to go ahead and sue, and to have it put on the ballot and have it voted on.
I don't want to put it on the ballot. I want to sue.
Then sue. Now it's going to all fall onto the law as to whether it's constitutional or not within their state. And at the end of the day, if you don't like how things are being run in the state that you're in, you could always chuck deuces and go to another state that that aligns more to your ideals.
And when Kamala Harris wins the election, I want everybody to have that same attitude. If y'all don't like how this country is ran under her, y'all need to get the fuck out this country.
Well, no, here's the thing, because I know that in 4 years we can re-vote again. You see what I'm saying? So we have that option of voting. That's what I'm saying. Now, again, I don't think it's right. And if I don't like the school that's doing that, then now, first of all, the Department of Education is retarded already. I mean, when you start breaking down things, why can't, here's what I want the schools to teach. Okay. Here's what I want schools to just teach: math, reading, English, science. That's it. That's
history.
all the kids fucking need.
Fuck history.
Fuck history. You want history? Learn that shit in college. Maybe some social studies in there. But the only thing that they need, to survive.
Yeah, social studies need to be, because motherfuckers don't understand how fucking the three branches of government work. So yes, social studies definitely.
Oh yeah, civics. Yeah, put in government, put in civics. My daughter is in 7th grade now. Last year, while she was in 6th grade, she learned about the separation of power. She learned about government. You know, she was talking to me about it. Like, Dad, this is my 12-year-old daughter, mind you. My 12-year-old daughter. Dad, why does everybody worry that somebody's going to go up there and just make these laws? The president can't do that. They have a separation. They have to vote for it in the Senate. They have to vote for it in here. I'm looking at my 12-year-old. My fucking 12-year-old knows more than most of the fucking Facebook politicians, Facebook lawyers, TikTok warriors. My 12-year-old knows how that shit works better than most of these motherfuckers that are voting right now.
Yeah, and shit, I forgot what I was gonna go. Too many bubbles.
My nephew, Doggo. What's going on, Doggo?
Doggo, what's up, baby?
You remember him?
Yeah.
All the schools need to do is teach academics and let parents raise the kids. If we were born on the other side of the world, we would be Muslim. Religion is for the birds. Fucking facts. I think that religion should be something that's kept in the home. That's between the fucking your family. Just like people want to keep all this gay agenda, keep that in your home.
Definitely teach finances.
Oh, see, hell yeah.
Yeah, like I think that this is the thing though. There are a lot that we disagree with between, you know, everybody that is thankfully. Hey, once again, everybody, thank y'all so much for listening, being a part of this fucking show. Thank y'all so much for interacting more than anything. But make sure you tell your friends about this so they can interact.
They know about it, dog. We're good.
But
there needs to be a baseline. So what is the baseline as far as what though?
And when we talk about this, we have to be willing to compromise when we talk about a baseline. If we're not willing to compromise and talk about a baseline, and it has to be just the left or just the right, we're fucking up.
You know what? Let me bring something up real quick. Doggo, I hate to put your business out there right now, bro, but I'm about to, because what do you think about prison reform? I asked because he would be my subject matter expert when it comes down to it. He's talked about his stuff. What?
Did you just assume?
Oh, I know my nephew is a he, but no. Doggo has been on the podcast before where we've talked about his past and his time in prison. So it's not nothing new. Do you believe that there should be reform in prison instead of just being locked up for hours upon hours as punishment? Do you believe there should be reform?
And what do you think that reform should look like?
And there you go. And what should that reform look like? You know, and I throw it out. Hopefully you have enough time to answer. You know what I'm saying? But I bring him up because Doggo, like me and him. So for those that don't know, me and Doggo grew up together, literally. Like I'm 8 days older than him. He's my nephew, typical fucking Hispanic family. You know, I'm only 8 days older, but I'm his uncle. But we grew up together. What? What'd you say?
Said imagine that.
Mexican?
Yeah, imagine that, right? Just like some Guatemalans.
You know, education would be a good start. Education is where it all begins, bro. It all begins at the school. I think in schools, they used to have trade. They used to have fucking, what's that shit?
Put them in the prisons. I'm a firm believer. Put the trades in schools and in prisons.
And one of the things I wanted to talk about, this is what started the whole thing. Going down to the youth level with juvenile halls, there should be, I think, a point where the offenders have an opportunity to go to a boot camp type of a system where it can prepare them to join the military at 18.
Once again, we
Because
talked about this. I
mhm,
think that everybody that if you know you college isn't for you, if you know that you just don't want to do a trade, I think that listen, I think that everybody should do at least 5 years. Some people say, "Oh, do 3." You should do 5 years. At the
3
end
ain't
of the
gonna teach
5 year,
shit.
at the end of the 5 years, you're gonna definitely know if you're gonna stay or not. In 5 years, you know if you're going to stay or not. You know if you want to make it a career. I'm a firm believer. 5 years. If you're not going to go to college, you don't want to trade, you better go to Us Army, Uncle Sam's Misguided Children, the
Hmm.
Chair Force, the Gravy, the Coasties, or the Spacemen. But
So go ahead.
no, that's what I'm saying.
So Doggo said, I think if we're allowing inmates back into society, we should equip them with the life skills needed to be productive members of society. Reentry is really what's needed.
Exactly.
Agreed. I think that there should be some kind of mentorship program. But not only that, like Hunt was saying earlier, have some kind of a trade. I don't know what the prison system is like. I don't know if they have any trade skills in there or anything where they teach them how to reintegrate into society.
Financial
The way I
literacy
look,
too.
I think that the reintegration into society from the prison system should be akin to the in the military, because for both of them, it's difficult readjusting back to the civilian sector. Whether it was a prison mindset or whether it was a military mindset. There needs to be some kind of a mentorship program to get them to be successful in society. So I don't know what happened to the homie Hunt. Maybe his phone died. I'm not sure. But honestly, hey, I'm really happy that we had really good engagement today here. It's we've been going on for almost 3 hours, y'all. 3 fucking hours. So I think that's fucking awesome. Teach them job skills like trade schools. It's funny. Everybody has been saying the same thing as far as trade schools. They need to implement that down to the lower level again in the fucking juvenile system because of the that's where they need to be inspired at. That's where they need to be educated at. Because if you just throw them in a fucking cage as
Rehabilitated.
punishment, if you just throw them in a cage as punishment, they're gonna come back out, and again, then they're gonna fucking be repeat offenders. You know what I
That's
mean?
where the rehabilitation comes in it. And it's like Doc K was
Mhm.
saying too. So you're giving them these life skills, right? Plumber, electrician, HVAC, whatever. You're giving them these skills and you're also teaching them about financial literacy. So now you have
Mhm.
them with a potential to earn their money and to understand how the money works and to keep the
Mhm.
money flowing in them and not wasting money. So you have this, you have all this potential for somebody to come back and be a productive member of society. And then what happens? So now you go out and do your apprenticeship, you do your working for somebody. Eventually, you can go ahead and start your own business. And so, what are you going to do
Mhm.
then, right? Because you are an ex, felon, convict, or whatever, and you know how the system is doing. Now you're going to employ other ex felons, convicts to work for you, right? So now you don't have to. Now those people don't have to worry about the scrutiny that's going to come with them for being there because now they're working for somebody that was on their level, and they're saying, "Hey,
Mhm.
listen, guy, we were on the same level. We're good to go. Let's fucking work. Let's fucking get this money."
So it needs to be a deterrent. And then Doggo says the prison system is designed to make money off of your stay. No trades are taught to you, especially if you're a gang affiliated. Prison makes you worse.
Yeah.
And they need to be given those skills before.
So what are they going to
So
do when
they
they get
don't
out?
commit crime in the first place. It starts in the home, then in the schools. Again, though, see, here's the thing, Vision. Here's the thing. I'm not going to stand here and pretend I'm all high and fucking mighty. You know what I'm saying? I came from a very good home. Both of my parents worked. I lived in a shitty area. I made some choices in my youth where I fucked up and I caught that felony. You know what I'm saying? and it became very difficult to catch a job that paid more than $5.75 an hour. So our going to jail pretty much would have been a practical thing that I kept doing on it. I would kept going on it because I need to make money. You know what I'm saying? I need to make money. The only thing, check out, I'm a felon, and it didn't stop me because luckily the war kicked off. The war kicked off. If the war wouldn't have kicked off, I'd still be out there mediocre work for mediocre pay. You know what I'm saying?
Cleaning
teeth.
Cleaning teeth.
You ain't lying. What's crazy
but
to
I
me
want
is
Vision
that
to think about it like this. So we talk about the rehabilitation and people doing dumb shit, right? How often did we have soldiers do dumb shit? How often as soldiers did we not do dumb shit? We got punished. We got rehabilitated. It was no throw the book at this motherfucker. He has to be a horrible person because he made this one mistake. We still had that motherfucker who seen the best in us and was like, you know what? Hey, listen, man, you did slip up, you fell, but I'm going to be right here to make sure that you can rebound from this. I'm going to give you the tools that you need to be successful. And a lot of those people went on to be great sergeant first classes, first sergeants, and goddamn sergeant majors because somebody believed in them, even though they fucked up, and they gave them the tools that they needed to succeed after they fucked up.
So, I mean, I'm really on this one right now. I'm gonna be on my soapbox for this one. If you put somebody in prison and you lock them up with more people that are going to be bitter because all they're doing is sitting in a fucking box, you know what that's going to lead to? Mental issues that is going to cause people to get more time because they're going to be just fighting each other. It's going to cause tension. Those people that's not teaching them a fucking thing. Putting them in a box is not teaching them a fucking lesson. If anything, they're going to learn how to become more productive criminals. You know what I'm saying? So if you want them to actually have a chance, you have to rehabilitate them and change their way of thinking. Give them a chance of hope. You need to have people provide you that.
Hey, Obama. Hope.
Shit. Yeah. I mean, but a lot of black people hope that he would do something for them, and nothing happened until Trump came and helped them out. But that's just another story for another day. Yeah, I went there. But no, here's the thing. Again, I can't speak on what prison life is like. I can only go by the stories that I've heard. All right. And whether you're in there for a year or a fucking 6 months, it's not a fucking fun time. And it would prepare you better to come back and reintegrate to society if you had a skill set to come out with. School to prison pipeline. It's not an accident that people in the inner cities predominantly make up the population of the prisons. 100%. 100%. So you agree that there's a failure in the school systems and there's a failure in our society right system. Now.
There's a failure in the prison system there because, like Vision said, oh, if you commit a crime, you're going to do it again. Why? There's no rehabilitation in there for you to know that there's a better way. Like you said, you just became a more productive criminal in there instead of learning a trade.
I think that it'd be more valuable, more productive for our society if we lock people up that are in there. They're being punished by being taken away from their family, by being taken away. You're taking their time. What did we always say when we were in the military? You want to punish somebody, take their time, right? So we did. You take their time away. So you're taking their time away already. So while they're in there, rather than just thinking about how they're going to get back at the motherfuckers that locked them up, why not just fucking teach them a trade to give them the hope, to give them the chance to make that fucking positive change in their life? You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm coming from with this. So while I do believe that there's people that are incorrigible and they're not going to be able to get change. And now let's not get it twisted. I'm not talking about your chomos. I'm not talking about your fucking rapists. I'm not talking about your fucking people that are on that level. Yeah, we're not talking about them. We're talking about people that committed acts, let's say even when they were younger. You know, they were 15 years old and they committed a murder. Science has now told us that the brain hasn't even fully developed until they're 25. Do they really know the impact of what they're doing at the age of 14? I used to be a believer that, like, yeah, you know what, at 14, you know what you're doing. Hell no. I look at my daughter. She's a 14-year-old. You know what I'm saying? She could barely. I'm not even going to talk bad. I'm not going to talk bad, but I'm just saying there's a lot of things that you don't know. Prison is the most respectable place you can be. We need support systems for those that return into their community. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, y'all, check this out. It's been 3 hours that I've been out here with y'all. And honestly, I would love to stay on longer. I really, really would. But unfortunately, I do got to go pick up my kid right now. They're coming out of school. It's been a great time, Hunt. As always, it's fucking awesome having you here. What you gonna say?
Oh no, nothing, man. Listen, look forward to the next one we can do. Tomorrow may be a little bit hectic because of my schedule. You know what I'll be doing, but I should be able to. Just let me know. We'll get offline later tonight and try to hash something
Yeah,
out. Okay.
dude. I mean, if you can do this with me, as long you tell me the time. I think that the 12 o'clock hour, 1 o'clock hour seems like a good time.
Yeah.
If that works for you, let me know. Hey, I appreciate you all. Doggo, thank you. Doc K, Gary, Vision. It was great all on here, man. It's always great having these conversations, man. It really is. And as always,
Go Army, beat Navy.
there you go. Yep, fuck Kamala and the commies, definitely. Make America great again, 2024. Yep. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna end it on a
Listen,
positive note. I'm gonna
I
end it on a
can't wait
positive
to
note.
feel your tears. There's gonna be tears in my beer when Trump gets
They
what they
taste so
bear.
good.
They taste so MAGA tears taste so good.
Hey, thanks for being here on the live, y'all. We'll catch y'all next time only on the gun line. Deuces, y'all.